Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. Thank you so much for joining us once again for Aerilon, A Destined Journey. We hope that you're all doing well, and for those of you at home listening on our new YouTube podcast, welcome into the audio version of Tales on Tap, Aerilon, A Destined Journey. I hope that you are all very well. I hope that the Christmas period is treating you well. Only a couple of weeks left till the festive, celebrations kick off properly, but I hope that you've all got things planned with your loved ones and that you're looking forward to this just as much as we are here at Tales on Tap. So, we are not alone, but we haven't got everybody with us this week. Unfortunately, Han has come down with a severe case of death and dying of fluey, mucusy cough stuff, which is not great. She's been to like a plague doctor and like witch doctors, and people have people have sacrificed lambs in her name and all sorts, but they're just unfortunately
more than the usual amount.
And they're just not.
How we get her.
She's just not on the mend at the moment, but we are here nonetheless. And I can say I'm not here on my own, so I will introduce you to the players once again. So with us this evening is Natalie. Say hello, Natalie.
Hello, Natalie.
And Evan as well. Say hello, Evan.
Hello, Evan.
And also with us this evening is Dan. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
And with us as well, certainly last but definitely not least, say hello, Chris.
Don't tell me what to do. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, yes.
Dan,
special questions.
Special question.
That I had not prepared. You'll have to give me a second. I'm joking. It's here. Okay. So, could you please share for us a moment that you've experienced of seemingly insignificant detail when the D&D campaign that became a major plot point? How did it unfold, and how did it impact the story?
I mean, the obvious choice is Parnast.
Yeah,
Parnast Gold. From literally, I think, probably about session 2 or 3 of our first campaign. My character Clovis and a couple of other members of the party were obsessed with a wine called Parnast Gold, which I thought our lovely DM Dan had completely pulled out of his arse on the spot, only to find out that the final sort of confrontation and final arc of the entire campaign was in a village called Parnast. And we were all face-slapping and hating on Dan for many days after we found that out, but it was very hilarious. So yeah, it was like when you were hinting at it's like, you guys aren't going to believe where this is at the end. It was like, I was racking my brain like, what could it be? What has he dropped? And it was there the whole time. Parnast Gold has to be.
Yeah, he was taunting us so much.
Yeah.
Like,
I joke to you.
Thank you very much, Chris. So before we do get into tonight's session, as we say, Han is not with us, but we do send her our best, and just to make sure that they are on the mend very soon. Han should be back with us next week. And before we get into tonight's session, we do have a few words from some of our sponsors. Now, Han would tell you about Awfully Queer Heroes, but they're not here, so I'll do it instead. So one of our wonderful sponsors, Awfully Queer Heroes, they make modules that are designed for those with neurodivergence and other needs that are of that ilk, and they have amazing kit. They have a lot of stuff,
and also a lot of content geared towards people of the LGBT community as well.
That's very true. And they have modules, they have a lot of compendiums for D&D, they have a lot of map packs, they run a lot of successful Kickstarters. If you haven't checked them out already, there is a banner on our About page down below where you can find a lot of other useful information for ourselves. So, while we're on the topic of sponsors, Natalie, why don't you tell us about our other sponsors?
Certainly can. That's Valkyrie. They make lovely dice and apparel and terrain. So that's at Valkyrie-RPG. They're again down in our About page. They're actually just launched this pre-order page, which has one of my favorite dice they do, which is Liquid Core Elixir of Spite. and I just want them just because it feeds my soul. Right?
Just the name, Elixir of Spite, is so good.
Love that.
Right? Don't forget to use our affiliate code, which is Tales10 at checkout for 10% off. It doesn't work on subscription boxes as they're already heavily discounted, but well worth the buy anyway. But yeah, check them out.
Thank you very much. And I feel bad at our other sponsor because they didn't get a shout out last week. So Dan, can you please just tell the good folk at home about our other lovely sponsor? My mouth is not working.
We are back.
Oh no, what's his name?
Tom Kartos.
No, the boxer. I was trying to think of his name. I can't remember it.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, with the lisp. There's one with a.
That is Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Anyway, if we had combat tonight, it would be sponsored by our good friends over at Tom Kartos Maps. They are your one place to go to make all of your combat just that little bit special, with exceptional tokens for all the monsters you could imagine, and the maps and terrains to go with them. What's the? You've thrown me in the deep end. What's their thing again? Tom Kartos.
Kartos, battlemaps.com.
There we go. So that's the thing.
Yep.
The website.
If you're struggling again, it's downstairs in the below bit.
yes, down in the dungeon where everything goes.
That's not becoming a thing. We need to stop that. That's not a
Yes,
thing.
it is.
That is becoming a good
Down
thing.
in the dungeon.
Down in the dungeon.
Already a thing.
It's cool.
It's 3 episodes in now, that we said that.
The precedent has been set.
But yes,
Okay.
that's another one of ours.
Thank you very much, Dan. Evan, why don't you tell us all about all things social media side?
Well, now you're gonna hear about the Down in the Dungeon for real, Dan. So hold on to your briefs. I was about to say.
Hold on to your britches.
So that
Yeah, so we have we're on basically every social media there is. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're not on Threads, but maybe that happens in the future. Who knows? And all of those links are down in the dungeon.
Yes, they are.
Together with
Mhm.
our Discord, which is something that you definitely should join. It's a fantastic community that we're building there with like-minded people who are, fans of D&D, or maybe even fans of us, who knows, or they just
Fans of
want to,
Dungeons.
just regular fans of Dungeons and Dragons.
So if you are simps and you love our faces and you want to see more of them, then Discord is where it's probably best to harass us.
For sure.
Or
For sure.
if it is just our faces you want to see, check out Instagram as well.
Yeah.
All the fat
that's-
material is online.
God.
Uh,
Oh, this is
the
going
press
so
conference
great.
Oh.
But yeah, guys, so if
Just-
you
sorry,
want to keep
Natalie's
up
just
to date to what's happening,
that was a step too far.
Can't blame her.
Yeah.
Can't blame her, can we?
if you want to keep up to date, check us out on our social medias and in our Discord channel. That's basically me.
Thank you very much, Evan.
No worries.
Chris, the lovely people at home are not going to be able to see you while we wait for Natalie's camera to come back on. She's probably
What?
at home slamming the computer
What
around.
if I go
but-
over on this side? Can they see me now? Or on this side?
No, because I've changed the screen so it's just my lovely
Oh,
face.
right,
now.
okay, fine.
People
But could
deserve
you,
my face.
if you could please just tell people about the up and coming things that we have.
I certainly can, yeah, and I'll wrap up this nice little intro section that we've all been delivering in a very professional manner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So coming up, we have a few things actually. As Dan mentioned at the top of the stream, you can listen to all of our episodes on YouTube Music, but we are planning to turn Campaign 2 and potentially some of the games from Campaign 1 as well into proper podcasts, which you will be able to find anywhere you listen to your podcasts. That should be coming in the new year. But before that, we do have something to look forward to, and that is at Christmas. But more specifically, our Christmas one-shot, where we've been going over some of our characters today. There's some really interesting characters coming out on our little private Discord that we're discussing this game on. Are you miming me right now?
Yeah. So as you talk, I'm just moving my mouth so it looks all right on stream.
Okay, that works. I'll try not to throw you off. So that's going to be coming out on Christmas Day. It's going to be pre-recorded, so it won't be live. It'll be exclusive to YouTube. So do pop over there, get subscribed, so that you'll have something to watch, something to quench your D&D fix on Christmas Day once the family's all eaten enough and fallen asleep. And not only that, but we also have another very interesting D&D game coming up, which is going to be a collaboration with various other members of the Twitch D&D community and tabletop community, and just generally online in the online space of D&D, are going to be collaborating with us on a very interesting one-shot game, which we'll have more details about in the future. But you have an opportunity to sit at that table as well with some of us and some other creators you may know and love. In order to win that spot, you must enter our giveaway, which you can do by subscribing. Dan, I think you probably got a few more details about that giveaway, haven't you?
I have, thank you very much. So yes, as Chris says, we are running our biggest giveaway ever. We have unfortunately had very few people enter this though so far. I don't know if we should extend it.
I think, again into the new year might be fun.
Yeah, we might extend it just so that we're giving people more chance to subscribe. So
Whoop! Echo.
So Natalie's just joined and has some audio issues happening right now. Audio issues.
Sorry.
So we have the biggest giveaway we have ever done, which is live right now. All you have to do for a chance to win some lovely prizes is subscribe. You don't have to subscribe to watch us. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Just come in, join us every Tuesday, sit with us all evening and watch this magic unfold is all we ever ask for. But if you do want a chance to get your hands on some lovely prizes, which include but are not limited to dice, module packs, battle maps, and again the biggest prize we have, which is a seat at our table, then just hit that subscribe button between now and we're going to say next week for now, but as of next week we might extend it a couple of weeks just to give more people a chance to enter. But we might not.
Yeah, exactly. We might not. Get in while you can.
Yeah, exactly. We might, but we might not. So by next week. So if you are watching this evening, make sure if you haven't subscribed, just do that. You'll be in for a chance to win. The way that's going to work is that when we decide to do the draw, which at the minute is looking like next week, we'll just do a random number generator with a spin the wheel thing with everybody that's subscribed during the giveaway, and whoever it lands on wins. It's as simple as that. So beyond that, as Chris says, we're not going to be streaming over the Christmas period because of when the Tuesday falls. So there will be no live stream over that week. So next week will be our last live stream until the new year, where we take a bit of a break. We're not going to be live streaming the Christmas one shot. We are, however, going to be pre-recording it, and that will go out on Christmas Day on YouTube. So if you haven't been over to our YouTube channel and subscribed, please do. And if you are subscribed and you see our videos pop up, just jump on there. Please leave a like on the videos, just to kind of give the algorithm a bit of a chance for YouTube to show it to more people as well. If you love all of our best moments as well, they're often clipped. You'll find them on TikTok and YouTube as well. Lots of content being flung around. So as I said, if you are just here to simp on us, hit us on social media. All of our faces are plastered over there all the time, so you've got plenty of opportunities to drool over us. And I think that about wraps up the announcements.
Stands are in.
So yeah, how about we before we play some D&D tonight, Chris and Dan, I'd like both of you to roll me a D20, please.
Oh yeah,
Showdown.
I don't have to.
Yeah,
The final showdown.
This is what separates the boys from the other boys.
I got a 15.
I got a 12.
Sweet.
Okay, Dan, if you wouldn't mind making some notes for us this evening, you will be recapping for us next week.
I know I always celebrate when I don't have to do the notes and recaps, but I do genuinely enjoy doing them. Just so everyone knows.
They're actually really, really fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. But I love seeing your guys' ones as well. So
Excellent. Well, that wraps up our announcements. So if you haven't got had chance already to get a drink, then make sure you run off and get one very quickly, because we are about to dive into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap.
Tales on Tap!
Hype man. Dear Silvertree, I'm sorry we haven't talked for a while. Things haven't really gone to plan, but no need to worry. I'm fine. A lot has happened, and although I would love to tell you all about it, I think I'll keep it short this time as we're in a bit of a time crunch. Here's the short of it. When I arrived to the city, I managed to get myself arrested for crimes I'm pretty sure I didn't commit. I got stripped of all my belongings and thrown into jail for about 4 days. They even took Grandpa's ring, but please don't tell him, because I'm planning on getting it back. On the 5th day, I got bunched together with another group of people, and on our way to our sentencing, our caravan got attacked, and we were eventually freed by these mysterious figures with hoods. After fighting off some guards and fleeing the scene, we decided to hide in the Undercity for a while. And after some introductions and a period of general suspicion around each other, we realized that maybe we'd been set up. We spent the night at a place called Tanner's Mark, a tavern owned by this burly guy called Tanner, who promised to send word to the upper city to see if there's a way for us to clear our names, but in the meantime, we had to keep our heads down. It didn't take long until we got into more trouble, though, as a bunch of fluxed up regulars started to go on a rampage in the tavern. We did our best to help, and although it didn't come to the best conclusion, maybe, we eventually ended the fight. Had I known there would be so much death, I don't know if I would have left home in the first place. Anyway, there are some good news as well. I made some new friends. Kyria, Virgil, Liana, and Eddie. They are the ones who were together with me in the caravan. Since we are all wanted criminals now, we decided to have what Kyria called a story time, basically laying all cards on the table, and after we did so, I can safely say I was relieved. I honestly didn't know what they would think of me after hearing about what I'd done. But they were the ones who told me that it wasn't my fault. Now, with the little funds that we've managed to get our hands on, we've stocked up on some items, and Tanner has finally gotten back to us with a lead, a contact in the upper city that we're planning on meeting tonight. I guess the main thing you should take away is I'm safe and among friends, and I haven't steered away from my mission. I will find them. Send all my love to Grandpa, Bella, Otis, Marvin and the Marvs, and all the other friends back at home. I guess there is nowhere else to go but up now.
Very
Nice.
good.
Nice.
So, we find our group of adventurers In the upper floor of the Tanner's Mark, a day spent in the UC of Windmere, or the Undercity, where the group of adventurers set out to try and find as many supplies as they could to arm themselves against what may come. Though not without maybe stirring some alarm within themselves, as they found some posters that had been put up across the UC with their names and with their faces branded upon them. Wanted criminals everywhere. Rewards offered for the return of these convicts. Will they succeed in getting to the High City, to Tanner's contact, or will they fail? Let's find out.
Hey, you didn't say anything about rewards on the posters. What can I get for these guys?
You guys find yourselves in the room, the secured room in the upper floor of the Tanner's Mark. Tanner came in a little while ago and advised that he has heard word from his contact in the High City, though reluctant to tell you who that is, but has told you that they'll set out in the cover of darkness, which strikes you odd, considering that the UC is often in the cover of darkness, but he must mean in the evening in the High City. You have a couple of hours to yourselves, but Tanner leaves the room and leaves you to your devices for now.
While we're gone.
Timothy's, I was just going to say that Timothy's at this point sitting in the top bunk, and it looks like he's praying, but he seems to be muttering almost to himself, but it doesn't seem to be like a godly prayer in the same way as most clerics would do. It's more of it's almost like he's having a conversation with himself.
Okay.
During this time that we're sort of waiting to head out, can I spend a little time just further inspecting the flux inhaler?
Sure, yeah, of course you can. Yeah, make me an investigation check, please. And
Sure.
give me an idea. What is it you're trying to look at? Is it like the chemical compound inside?
Sort
Is
of
it
any residues left over, if there's any sort of sulfurous scents that I recognize, and I'm also just sort of racking my brain and any sort of notes I've taken for myself of the various factions to see if I can determine anything more about this symbol of a cobra wrapped around a skull.
Okay, no problem. Roll me an investigation, please. And with that, a history as well, if you're trying to rack your brain on that as well.
Okay, so the investigation wasn't great. 9.
Okay.
But the history was 13 plus 2, 5. 15. Sorry. So 9.
Yeah, I was
9
like, how did you manage to get there?
9 investigation, 15 history.
Okay. So you start looking over this inhaler or inhalator. And you see that though it is crude in fashion, it has been crafted remarkably well. It doesn't look like it looks very much like factory process. Like there's no like real like shit craftsmanship on the rivets and things.
Yeah, so it
like,
doesn't look like something someone's bashed together. It's
No,
like
no.
something that's
It look-
produced.
Exactly, yeah. It looks like from the actual substance that's in it and how big the vial is and stuff, it looks like it's a multi-use system, so it's not just like a one-shot and done. You kind of spend a little bit of time trying not to get your nose too close to the thing, but trying to give it a bit of a smell, and it has sort of this like acetone hint to it, like really kind of like really sharp acidic smell, and like I say, more like an acetone, that when you do get a smell of it, like your eyes water a little bit, you're like, bloody, like it hits you immediately. The liquid inside is this kind of silvery purplish, like there's literally like droplets in the bottom, but like you're kind of holding it up to the light to kind of get the hue of it, and it gives you a like I say, there's like a silvery purpley hue to the liquid inside. But that's kind of all you get from that. You can't really pick up much more chemical compound from that investigation. In terms of actually racking your brain, it's weird because there's a lot of like gang cultures and like gangs that you've kind of come across that have snake tattoos of like cobras and stuff, but nothing that you can see is representative of the mark you see on the underside of the inhaler. It doesn't really strike you as recognizable in that sense, but you know that people that tend to use cobras as part of their insignia don't tend to be the most, the
reason.
Of the nicer class of folk.
Dag hides his cobra tattoo. No, he hasn't got it. And then the only other thing I'd like to do is the pouch that I have that has 3 shards of glass in it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to take out my hammer.
Yep.
And smash up the bits of glass inside the pouch until I have a small bag of very fine glass shards.
Yeah, okay. Just make me a general dexterity check just to see, because obviously otherwise smashing glass with hammer incoherently, you're going to get like glass
It's very
dust.
careful, you know. Like,
Yeah. Well, let's see how careful.
Very careful. 21.
21, yeah. I mean, you're very using the hammer you got. I mean, the hammer isn't typically the one you would use. You kind of use a bit more of a ballpoint hammer for this sort of work, but you kind of... You're pretty skilled in.
Are you angling the hammer? Is it one of those hammers with the 2 flat sides, so you have to angle it on a weird angle to sort of get the...
Sort of, but it's...
Very lightly.
Yeah, but it's more... Yeah, it's more like meticulous with it, where you kind of like open the pouch, check the shape, like the shards, pull some of the larger ones to one side, knock them, until you get a consistency that you're happy with the shards.
I know I'm not there, DM, but just for my own visual image, because I've seen the inhalator before. So when you're talking about powder, is it like a mask and then the bottle is sort of like separate underneath, so you can detach it? Okay.
Not detachable.
Not detachable.
Not that, well, mind you, not that you wouldn't know, but it isn't. Well, you haven't tried to detach it or whatever.
But it's not like an inhaler, an asthma inhaler. It's more.
No, exactly.
It's more
so
like
the mask
mask.
Exactly. Kind of so the mask goes over the bridge of the nose, over the mouth, and then the tube kind of attaches to that bit, and it like the tube's only, I don't know, 3-ish inches in size. Like they're not huge bottles, and it's kind of attached to this kind of a square device that's on the actual mouthpiece. That kind of, as you press the inhalator up, it then releases in a gaseous form into the mask.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And just because I'm Swedish, what's the difference between an inhalator and an inhaler?
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Okay.
Sounds
couple of letters.
Yep.
Spelling.
So Liana's been watching Dag intently inspect the inhalator, just making sure she sees no sign of purple cracks, or I mean, she's like just on edge with him being so close to it, especially if he starts sniffing it in, and he like you said he was, and she's like dagger eyes, just watching you.
Okay. No problem. Virgil, is there anything you want to be doing during this couple of hours that you've got to wait?
So, sort of after Tanner has sort of given us the information and set it back in a bit, and Virgil sort of takes a seat, sort of not perpendicular, but sort of to the side of Ed E, as he, I don't know why I said that, so I don't know why I put in this space between there. I'm Ed, losing it. Eddie. Sort of watching him just go about sort of the smashing of the glass and stuff. He takes out like a sheet of the paper and sort of summons Quill back out and just starts just gently sort of drawing sort of geometric shapes on a page, and then once it's done, it's sort of the quill flicks over it, and then it's blank, and he starts to redraw them. And as he sort of watches you inspect the mask and sort of notices Leanna not particularly happy with it, well, we've only got maybe a few hours. I don't really know what the time is here, but if we're going to do this tonight, we need to all be on the same page, I feel. So what... Eddie, you're better at this thing potentially than any of us. What do we do? How do we get into this?
I mean, it entirely depends who we're dealing with.
Do we need a
I don't
code
like
word
my
or
mind.
something? Timothy pops his head up from the top bunk. Do we need a code word or something if things go wrong? Like, I don't know, banana? Pineapple? Something like that?
Word.
Banana.
Well, it's
I
something that
mean-
doesn't come up in conversation usually.
I think if things go wrong, we'll probably know about it before anyone can say banana.
Potentially.
I'm not so
But-
sure about me personally, but
To your
I
point,
mean, I trust you.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It feels. I mean, while Tanner has gained a modicum of trust in my eyes, this whole situation, start to finish, feels a bit off. Something's not right. Like most of us have said, it seems a lot of us were either set up or questionably convicted, let's say. And for all of us now to have those circumstances, to now all be together, to be taken to someone in the upper city. I mean, people up there are powerful, wealthy, movers and shakers. It's not beyond the possibility that whoever we're being taken to is the one who set all this up in the first place. Just, I would advise skepticism as to whatever whoever we're being taken to says.
I mean, yes, I
wouldn't give away too much, but it seems like the only opportunity we're going to have to at least get back on our feet in a expeditious amount of time.
That was one of the points I wanted to bring up, but you make a lot of sense. I do have a odd feeling that our incarceration has made it potentially easy for someone to have people to do a job when they have very little in the way of prospects. We're all bound for either a lifetime of incarceration for very small reasons or death for even smaller ones.
Exactly. We're coming from a weak negotiating position, whatever these people want us to do.
But,
Whether they want us to do anything anyway.
well, they must do. I mean, we can't be... I don't believe anyone out of the goodness of their heart is going to free us five for whatever we've done individually.
The
And
upper city
together
is
now.
the upper city isn't where I'd go looking for generosity either.
No, I don't share your potentially correct cynicism, but I understand where it comes from. But
Has any of you been in the upper city before?
Kyria just kind of goes, maybe? I don't know.
Right.
so many questions for a person that's not here.
Have I ever visited any households?
You will have done actually, yes, but you wouldn't. You have
No.
been. You've not been in the. You've been in the upper city,
Yeah.
but you've not been in and around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've
mean-
taken a couple of... Go on, sorry.
As part of my work, I've been in a couple of their households, but I can't say I was privy to any conversation.
Well, I've taken a couple of very brief trips into the upper city, the most recent of which resulted in my incarceration, but there's not really much to say. I mean, well, there is a lot to say, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk your ear off about the politics of it all, but let's just say when you go from the UC to the upper city, you'll realise that for all its benefits and all its civilization, Windmere epitomises the term shit rolls downhill. They have fucking fountains of wine. They have golden lampposts lit with magic, wide open streets.
I don't understand it, but sure.
It's a stark contrast, put it that way. And when you go from that to a place like this, you can just see the sort of imbalance of things. It's not somewhere I particularly want to spend time unless I'm working.
Well, that brings us up to the second point. I suppose work is what we are going to be taking there for. As people have said before, nothing in this world is for free, for whatever reason. So are we all on the same page when it comes to this, that we are working our way back into non-notoriety, as it were?
I mean, we kind of have to, right? It's not
Well,
like
this is my
like
point.
Eddie said. We're not really in a negotiating position.
No, we
but
still
we're not
have a
talking
choice.
Sorry.
But we still have a choice. That I want to be off people's radar and not have my face plastered around as soon as possible. But there are things I won't do. There are principles that I hold higher than my own notoriety and well-being. And I won't be violating them for anyone.
Well, we better tell us them now before we get there, and because quite frankly, I have quite obviously a different set of goals to you. We all probably do. Circumstance brought us together, but what our actual intentions are yet to be seen. So, what are these principles, Eddie? What won't you do?
What won't I do? Well, I mean, I could talk to you about my ideology for hours and hours and hours, and it would probably take that amount of time to get through everything as well, but put it this way. People in positions of power don't get there by merit most of the time. They get there by exploitation. And if these people want us to... I mean, I said earlier, this whole flux epidemic doesn't feel like a normal drug trade to me. It feels like it has a purpose. And if what they want us to do is in furtherance of that purpose, then I'd rather fight my way out and leave. But I obviously won't do that and endanger all the rest of you. Just... I have principles, I have beliefs. If they don't cross those, you won't have to worry about it. And I'm not expecting any of you to take the same side as me if it is something that I would object to. You still deserve your freedom. You're welcome to go about earning it however you wish. So while I agree we should all be on the same page as to what we're going into, I won't expect you to agree to anything that I wouldn't, and vice versa.
I actually agree with Dag here. There are things that I won't do. But hopefully they won't come up.
Hey. I can say for one that, and I know this is going to sound strange, especially after what I just told you, but I'm not killing anyone. I'm sort of a pacifist.
You say you were 17.
Yeah.
What's a pacifist?
Pacifist, sweetheart. It means he doesn't like to fight.
I was 17 when I killed my first man.
Sorry.
Well, I killed 3 when I was 17, so I guess I beat you to it.
Well, the cows killed 3. You just
Helped.
helped.
Helped them storm down 3 people. Yeah, I'm aware.
Well, look, listen, like I said, You have principles that you live by. I have principles I live by. No one's expecting you to do anything that disagrees with your moral compass.
But I promise I'll
If a
help
fight-
in any way I can. I don't want any of you to get hurt, so anything that I can do to help you and help us, I'll do that. I just won't. I won't kill. That's basically my one rule. Obviously, I don't want the flux thing to happen either, because that shit was scary. Sorry, bad word again.
Kyria just kind of pipes up from the corner and goes, I just don't want to die. That's my only limit, really.
Good to know.
Sometimes that's the choice.
Well,
If you do die, though, I promise we'll exhume your corpse and decorate your bones.
I would prefer them carved, but that's okay. That's you wouldn't to know. And you see that Kyria's currently like carving and whittling away at a piece of wood sat in the corner. Like shavings going everywhere. Like there's no rhyme or reason to the whittle either. But you do see that they are taking on board the very like slow, methodical approach that you showed them, Dag. But at the same time, looking at the piece of wood that they're carving into doesn't really give you a sense of what they're actually carving at the moment.
I sort of look confused at them for a second and then scan my eyes around the room and see a chair that mysteriously only has 3 legs and roll my eyes. Well, yeah, let's find out what we're going into without any knowledge of what is expected of us. There's not really much we can divine from the coming hours.
Look, all I want to make abundantly clear is that going into this, even if we don't agree actually on what is asked of us or done, we agree to it anyway, then go our own way once we have gotten out. I don't want to make bad decisions in front of people who could have us murdered in seconds. Quite frankly, I do have things I need to do. So can we at least all agree that we will accept what is asked of us and then go about it in our own way if we disagree with it fundamentally?
Sounds like
no.
fun.
Come on, Eddie, work with me here, please. This is... You don't want to die in the high city. I don't want to die in the high city. We all have things we would rather be doing, but if push comes to shove, agreeing for the sake of preservation of our lives to then do what we need to do afterwards in our own way seems like a sensible option, as opposed to just dismissing the person who may be able to get us out of this.
I've never been accused of being a sensible man, but I'll do my best.
That's all I ask. Eddie, dear.
That would be a strange accusation, though. Like, obviously, one would think that being a sensible man would be a compliment, not an accusation.
Depends. Sometimes sensibility is a limiter. Sometimes you need to be a little bit reckless.
Potentially.
Interesting.
So a couple of hours passes. You guys in the heat of this conversation, a little bit more back and forth about the moral ambiguity of what is about to happen. But you pass the last couple of hours. Is there anything anybody wants to do specifically before you leave to meet Tanner downstairs in preparation for what's to come?
Nope.
No, I think I'm good.
I think all I will do is prestidigitate everyone lovely and clean before we go around. So sort of assuming time is ticking down, he's just going to sort of walk around everyone, summon the sort of bubble-like sponge, and it's just like cleans you all up, gets rid of all the guck and munk and just horrible stuff, and you look mildly presentable now.
Fantastic. Some time passes. You gather your belongings from the room, tidy it up a little bit, make sure that everything is as it should be.
Sign the guest book. Lovely stay.
As it should be.
Steal the shampoo bowls
Like
and the towels.
candles out the sconces.
Couple of light bulbs.
the salt.
It's what the tavern owes us.
You make your way downstairs. You see that Tanner has shut the bar early. Or on time, you don't know. And is currently stood with their back against the bar, just kind of tapping their foot, and as you kind of like all walk out, like down the stairs and into the room, goes, you're here. I assume you're ready.
Will we be expected to disarm?
I don't know. Maybe. It's probably likely the person that we're gonna go and see is one of good repute within the high city, and...
So this is a well-known individual, then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really quite well known. Holds a lot of sway in a lot of places.
In that case, I do have a question. You don't happen to have a bag of sand at all? Do you?
100 grand? You want a grand? 1,000 gold?
I don't...
Chris is from London.
I don't think so. No, why?
Well, if they want us to disarm and things go sideways, sand is always useful.
How?
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, no, I don't. Look, this person that we're gonna meet, they're an old friend. I promise you no harm is gonna come to you, but once I make the introductions, then really it's over to you. They have said they might be able to help, but we haven't gone into great detail about how or what that looks like just yet.
How much do they know of our situation?
They know that the people I'm bringing are in a position of need of help, and that they might be the only people that can help you. Now, as I said earlier, that there will be some form of exchange that is needed. They are probably going to want something from you. Whether they want you to do something, get them something, whatever. But in exchange, like I say, they hold quite a lot of influence. They are quite well known, hold a lot of sway. If there's anybody that can help, it's gonna be this person, all right?
Yes.
Now,
let's just go.
I'm not gonna put you in a position where you're gonna get taken advantage of, or look, we can go make the introductions. You can say your pieces. If you don't like it, then we just fine. You go your own way. I have at least made the introduction. My end of this bargain has been upheld. Because that's all I promise you, is an introduction. What happens next is on you. Is that clear? Like, once we get there, yes, and then my debt is paid.
But we can still stay in your room, right?
Yeah, for some coin. You can pay your way, yeah. But until then, like I said to you earlier, nothing's free.
Okay.
All right.
All we've asked for.
Look, we are going to be traveling through the Undercity. We should be all right, but when we breach the surface, you're going to have to do everything I say. It might not sit well with some of you, but you're going to have to trust me and just do what I tell you. All right?
Yes.
We'll follow your lead.
All right. You need anything before we go?
Some better clothes, but I think we established that yours probably wouldn't fit me.
That they won't. All right, well, let's go. And he leads you out of the tavern through the back door into the slums as he bolts and locks the door behind, puts the key on the inner breast pocket of his jacket and buttons his jacket up and The guy is huge and has put on this this big like overcoat with a high collar on it. Kind of put this like a flat cap on that kind of pulls down towards the bridge of his nose, kind of quite, kind of keeping himself as least recognizable as he possibly can. What strikes you
Doing
odd
the famous celebrity thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Just
collar
cap
up,
on and walk.
cap on, and it's just like, but he's a big guy. He would stand out anywhere, right? Like he's a big kind of bloke, so he isn't. You pick him out in a crowd.
Henry Cavill would disagree with you.
What kind of strikes you as weird at this point is that he doesn't lead you in the direction that you imagine he would. Like, he doesn't lead you towards the lift that leads up from the Undercity to the Lower City, and he doesn't lead you back to where towards where you guys came in either. Mm-hmm. He instead starts walking north, like towards the north of the UC, and keeps you towards the back streets. Is there anything anybody wants to do while you guys are traveling through the UC with him?
I'm obviously keeping a lookout as per usual.
Okay.
If I notice that we're going a different way to not the lift, or no, she wouldn't even know the lift, to the way that she came in, she would say to Dag, are there lots of ways to get down here? Or up there, depending on which way you're travelling?
Apparently so, but up
How
until
much do you know?
Up until the other day, the lift was the only one I knew of.
Right.
So this is new to me, but could be useful information.
Pim, make me a perception check, please. Virgil, are you going to be doing anything?
What's Pim? Oh yeah. While we're walking north, right? Is that taking us towards sort of? Well, not that I would know, but the dock area.
You wouldn't know.
No. Okay. As we walk, can I get any glimpse of sky, open air to try and gauge a sort of time of day, sort of anything like that? Can I see a setting sun, sort of in that respect?
Not in the UC, no. I'm not going to allow you to roll because the UC is very much an enclosed space that there is no sunlight, no area of the UC that breaches the surface.
Right. Okay.
So this is very much like a self-contained unit of land under the city that has been bored out, dug out, and people have made home.
Yeah. Then no, just keeping close to Tanner. Just making sure I'm not making too much of a jangle.
Okay. Okay, make me a stealth check then, please, Virgil. Edivir, is there anything that you'd like to do during this time?
Just keeping an eye out for suits.
Okay, perception check from you then, please. Pim, what did you roll?
18.
18.
I rolled really poorly.
Okay.
Mine was a 13.
13. Virgil?
9.
9. Okay.
9.
So Pim and Eddie, you guys are kind of like looking out, and you don't really see any suits, especially like no members of the SBC, and you see that like Tanner is walking at quite a pace. Like he's not like being cautious, he's walking with purpose through the alleyways that he is kind of taking you on. But you both notice with that perception check that anybody that does notice you guys walking through and spots kind of like Tanner walking with purpose with you guys just kind of like averts their eyes or like turns the other way and walks off away from you. Doesn't really pay you much mind. Virgil, you don't jingle as much as you think you might jingle. And as you guys get towards the most northern point of the Undercity, you see that for the first time, for most of you, Dag, you probably will have seen this before. You see on the most northern point, you see that there is, from floor to ceiling, there is like a huge wall that is man-made, purpose-built of like real thick sheet metal that stops any sight through. There's no like bars through it. It is just sheet metal, like steel, sheets that are put to create this wall. You hear, especially you, Pim, and Edivir, as you are walking through that dragging of huge chains along the floor that you heard previously, but it's a lot more clearer at this point. Instead of walking directly to the northern wall, though, as you're getting closer, around 200 yards or so from it, Tanner kind of veers off northwest towards the kind of cornermost point of that northern wall to a huge kind of duct in the wall that seems completely sealed to the naked eye. And as you get there, he goes, right, so I hope you're all full of energy. This is going to be a bit of a climb, but it's going to be fine. Nothing in here that'll hurt you apart from the fall. So just don't let go. And he literally puts his arm through this image of this vent. And the vent is 15 feet by 15 feet. It's huge, right? And he puts his arm through and just kind of and like lifts himself through this image. And as soon as he passes through, the image kind of shimmers a little bit, but then whoop, back to just being a full grate.
And we can't see him beyond the grate, no?
You cannot. He vanishes.
Ooh,
This is the second time that we've seen an illusion.
So much illusion magic for the Undercity.
Like it. Pim, do you want
Yeah,
do you want to go on my back? I'm good at climbing.
that would be very helpful. Thank you. I honestly don't think I could even touch wall to wall here, so...
No problem. And I do help him up onto my back
Okay.
as I follow through the illusion.
Okay, you lift yourself up through the grate, and as you kind of do, you see a very dimly lit kind of inner workings of this pipe that kind of like steps forward maybe 5-10 feet, but then literally it is a straight tube directly up, and you see Tanner inside kind of waiting, and he goes, well, you ready? Let's go. You guys coming?
Yeah, Edivir jumps.
I'm here.
As well.
Virgil, with a little less grace than Edivir, probably sort of like clambers up and sort of rolls himself in.
Okay.
Yes, we're here.
You see that there is a makeshift ladder of kind of bent wrought iron bars that have been welded into the pipe that is essentially your ability to climb. Tanner just goes, right, well, follow me. It's a bit of a climb. We've got 100 or so feet. So, like I said, don't let go.
Dear God.
And don't fall on top of us if you're going first. You're a big guy.
Yeah, that's true. Follow me. And he just begins to start climbing.
I'm
He'll
very
roll
prepared.
his athletics check, which, yep, he's fine.
Guidance!
Edivir, like as Pim, Liana, and Tanner sort of climb up, he just sort of walks past Virgil and just says, "Yeah, if you slip, make sure you kick off the wall." And then, like,
What do you mean slip? Leah, darling, would you mind going last, just in case I do fall? You can catch me.
Oh, I'm already following.
Oh, she's
Tanner.
Kyria just kind of like walks up and goes, well, this will be fun. And just immediately starts climbing. But you see that... That's cocked. Yeah, that's kind of as I was expecting. You see that Kyria's like hoofed feet.
oh God.
Sometimes just like she has to like really concentrate on like where she's putting them on the steps as she's climbing up, so they don't climb up quite as nimbly as Liana. It's just like woof, woof. She's quite delicately climbing up, but with that roll successfully. I need a athletics check from Liana, Edivir and Virgil, please. Pim,
P4 for you, Leona.
Pim, you're okay. But I will have an athletics check from you, Pim, to see how well you hold on to Liana.
Okay.
Not getting away with it that easy.
Well, I'm glad you used your guidance on Liana and not yourself.
Yeah.
Liana?
27.
27.
Ooh,
Fine.
Jesus.
You're dragging the pipe down.
That's-
You're not climbing it. You're just folding it up.
Ending time and space. Just,
Okay, Edivir?
11.
11. Okay. Virgil?
Oh, 13.
13. And Pim, please.
That's a 10 total.
A 10. Well, 10 was the DC that you all had to meet, so
Oh, thank fuck.
that's absolutely fine. You all successfully managed to start climbing up this pipe.
Just see Pim holding onto the main. Just like,
Yeah.
This is a hard climb. It is 100 plus feet of climbing up a ladder, and for those of you that have done the ladders in a gym, after the first like 25 to 30, 40 feet, you kind of go, for fuck's sake.
Can I ask, judging obviously because we entered the pipe in the northern part of the Undercity and it's
Yep.
quite a long pipe. Can I determine from that which part of Windmere we're going to be popping out at?
It's
Are
hard
we
to
going to be going? Are we going to be popping out like directly into the upper city?
I
or-
know. You would. So you, because of how long you've been here, you know the general layout of the UC and the footprint of where the UC is. From the time you spent on the upper city, you know that it doesn't even make up the same amount of space as the middle and lower city combined.
Yeah.
And the lift to the UC is under the lower city or in the lower city. So you know full well that even if you were on the very far end of the UC going up, you probably wouldn't be coming up in the high city.
Gotcha.
So it is a climb, but after say 15 minutes or so, not going to take you that long to climb 100 feet. Probably like 10.
I'm picturing that ladder in Metal Gear Solid. This is what in the background.
I try not to hit the person below me with my tail,
It's fine. But after around 10 minutes or so of climbing up this huge pipe, you see Tanner just kind of like lift himself up and step off the ladder into another space. And as you kind of all climb up, you see that this is still inside the pipe, but you are, again, similar to how it was underneath. You are now similar layout, but at the very top with another grate in front of you. And Tanner turns around and goes, "Shh. No illusion. There's no illusion on this one, so quiet."
I pass that message down quietly.
you just see
Down the
Virgil
line.
against. You see Virgil against like. Yeah, it's fine. I will be quiet.
I pass him my water skin.
You sort of like just like flash downs, just. Thank you.
I take it back. Is it empty?
It's like half full. It wasn't the full thing, but there's not as much in there as there was before.
You're welcome.
And you see Tanner kneel down at the grate and start to fiddle around with a couple of the small bolts at the side and unbolt two of them and just kind of, and it just kind of like lifts off into his hand and he kind of like pulls it back a little bit and listens, and he's like just waiting a second or two and then just lifts it down and kind of pokes his head out and goes, "Right, the coast is clear, come on." Puts it down and just like ambles out of the pipe onto what appears to be like a cobbled alleyway.
Leanna's right out behind him with her pin pack, and she's trying to keep low down behind him, but yeah, she's right behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah. Virgil sits on the pipe and then sort of shuffles himself off.
I'll just go psst to Tanner and then like gesture to the grate, asking if he wants me to put it back on.
He just like nods and just kind of like
I'll lift the grate back on and try and secure it.
No problem. You would do so easily. You are all kind of huddled in this alleyway, and it is cold. It is. You would looking around. It is the evening, but you get the impression that it is around 8-9 o'clock. So the sun has set, hence the coldness to the air. But there is something almost relieving of this because there is fresh air. And it hits all of your lungs, and like the musk of the air in the UC just kind of dissipates after a few breaths, and you kind of feel a little bit reinvigorated with this. Tanner goes, right, well, look, you can't be walking around the city as you are, so here. And he pulls out a bag, and he puts his hand in the bag and hands each one of you what looks to be a necklace, but kind of not like a necklace as such, but like kind of a clasped necklace that kind of would fit around your neck snugly, like a choker, like a collar, essentially. Yes, like a collar. It's not a fabric though. It is a metallic kind of color of, it could be copper, could be brass, that kind of color. And you kind of like, look, put it on. It'll give you a few hours where you can look like somebody else. They are pre-enchanted. You can't decide what you look like, unfortunately. But it'll probably give us around 4 hours. So put it on. It'll get us there and back with enough time. So,
Okay.
Anyone that surrounds Liana will be able to see that she hesitates quite visibly.
Yep.
Visibly. I can take this off though, right?
Whenever you want. It does not lock. Look, if you don't want to, that's fine. But I would strongly suggest it.
I understand. I just...
Look,
Tim goes up, takes one, puts it on, and then takes it off.
Okay.
Just to show.
Okay.
It's
Then
fine.
she puts hers on.
yours immediately locks. No, I'm joking. It's fine.
Motherfucker.
Immediately locks. So
Immediately locks and Liana disappears.
So Liana, you put yours on and it connects, and for the rest of you, you see Liana turns into the form of a well-muscled Goliath female with kind of a long flock of kind of silvered hair, tattoos down the face and the eyes, wearing kind of standard leather armor. But you all see this image. You kind of like look down, Liana, and you see your own hands, like in your paws, and you're like,
Did it not work? Did I do it wrong?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it works.
Oh, I
You are.
can't see it.
I'll take out the steel mirror. Hold it
Yep.
up to her.
and you hold the steel mirror up, and when you look in the mirror, you see this Goliath form, Liana.
Oh. I just started admiring her muscles a little bit before she catches herself on. Right? I've got a job to do.
Okay, so Kyria immediately seeing this goes, oh, me next, and just immediately like clasps this thing on, and
I knew you could do something. What have you done, Dan?
immediately turns and goes, oh, mine doesn't work either. The rest of you look, and you see that Kyria has turned her into a gnome. Like a gnomish individual with bright orange hair that's kind of like matlocked at the back, kind of receding at the front, has kind of this like ginger beard that kind of forms these plaits on the beard, and just kind of stands and goes, "Oh, well, mine didn't work."
Oh no!
No, it doesn't look like it did.
You look beautiful. Don't show her the mirror. You look lovely, honey.
Do I? How do I look?
Stunning.
Remarkable.
What do I look like?
A vision. Just
You're about the same size as me.
That's
Oh, yeah.
cute.
Did they actually get smaller?
So because of the way that the disguise self works, you can change either one size larger or smaller than what you are, can't you?
Yeah.
So there you are. She changes.
But you
her
still
size
hit
smaller.
your head if you go through.
Yeah.
the door.
Yeah, exactly. Who's next?
I'm next.
Pim. Pim, you pop it on, and you turn into a dwarven gentleman that is quite old. Has lost most of their hair and has just like wisps of hair just on the side of their head here. That they have, like, the disguise sees that one has kind of like not formed the comb over that it should, and it's just kind of like stuck out to the side somewhere over here. You look around to everyone else. You look around to be in your 70s, if not 80s. You're an old chap that's kind of like haunched over, kind of huge pot belly, like these braces that just don't go round the pot belly, that don't go over, go round the pot belly. Wearing this like cotton white shirt.
I love it.
I'll just say to, like, under my breath, like, I suppose it can't get much worse. And I'll grab one, and I'll hesitate for a second.
Okay.
And I'll click it on.
You click it on. To the rest of you, Edivir changes form completely into an elven female with beautiful blonde hair, scantily clad. Like, scantily clad. We're talking like low-cut top, kind of like a really high hitched skirt, lots of like makeup to like really define the cheekbones. Quite a beautiful posture to this elven lady with quite heavy assets.
Let's go.
And that is what you transform into, Edivir.
This beautiful, beautiful woman turns around and goes, "Right, we're already set to go."
Exactly. Exactly.
the voice almost works. It's weird. Have you seen yourself, Eddie?
I've seen enough of you guys to know that I probably don't want to.
I think you probably do, in all honesty.
Can we keep that one? Just
Yes.
Edivir gets his mirror, just kind of looks himself. Looks that.
Put him through like, oh, shit.
And last but certainly not least,
Yes.
Virgil, you
Click on.
clip it on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nicki
not
Minaj.
all of these not all of these are going to turn out the way that you guys may find you'd like. Virgil, you turn into a centaur. You
Keeping
see
it low key, yeah.
Yeah. You turn into a centaur that has this kind of like mohawk of like shock red hair, battle scars all over their face, no top on, just like scarring all over their top and their knuckles. Kind of looks like they have been in quite a few bouts of combat, purely given the eye patch that this disguise has, because it and like the deep scarring on one side of their face. But Virgil, you turn into a centaur.
Only in D&D, people, can you be a horse. Can you dress up as a horse costume without needing two people?
Tanner turns around and goes, "I am kind of okay with this. You look different, which is what we're going for."
What do I look like?
A centaur.
Yeah, a centaur.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've got hooves. Oh, I don't like this.
Kyrie goes, "Hey."
Sorry. Darling,
I'm
no,
not-
no.
looking at the various individuals that you've turned us into, I don't think I want to know what these were used for previously.
Yeah. Look. Time's ticking. We need to move. Oh yeah. Here. And he hands you all a bit of parchment. This will get you through the gates. Sure, one day passes.
Right.
Anyone stops you, then that's why you're all here for different reasons. All right.
Right.
Sorry,
got
what
it.
do I look like, Eddie?
Mira, you look wonderful. Now can we go?
Can I read my parchment to say why I'm supposed to be here?
Sure. He kind of like hands you yours, and you read it, and you're there to visit the nightstand.
The nightstand.
Yep.
Okay. Have I ever heard of the nightstand before?
No.
Okay.
Do all of us say the same thing?
Nope.
I'm gonna have a quick. Okay, I'm gonna open mine just to see.
Yours says that you are you're a runner, and
Okay.
you are there to collect something from an individual from the high city.
More of a trotter, really.
Yep.
Cantor.
Hey!
A galloper.
Yeah, galloper, yeah.
That feels a bit typecast. No.
What does mine say? And then also, do these passes have names on them?
They do, yes. So, Liana, yours says, hold on a second, I do have this noted down somewhere. 1 second.
Write these down as well, because I don't want to call you guys by the wrong name in front of the wrong people.
What, like Phil?
Yeah, Phil Murchill.
Times
Okay.
two.
So, yours says Alara Moonshadow, Liana.
Ooh. Snazzy.
Dag, yours is Thalia Starweaver.
Ooh. Thalia, yeah?
Thalia. 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 Timothy, yours says Grimbold Fireforge.
Grimbold. Love it.
Yep. And Virgil's, yours says Kaldor.
Oh.
Kaldor.
What does Kiri say?
Natalie, what was yours again?
Alara. Moon Shadow?
Yep, Moonshadow. Kyria's says let me find it. Garrick Emberheart.
Cool.
Okay.
So, should we be splitting up?
Maybe when we get towards the gate, but for now, let's just make our way there.
Also, before we go, just remember that these are illusions. I don't have a back end. If any one of you walks through me by mistake, it's going to look weird, so I will take the back. Any one of you who's got things that might be gone through, just be aware that you're not actually how you look.
Maybe I should go at the front then.
So you start following Tanner out onto the street of Winmere.
Sorry, what did my letter say? Because I'm the only one that hasn't read those. Yeah.
You're going to seek medical advice.
Makes sense.
You're essentially going for a checkup.
Yeah, what's ours? What's my one again? Sorry?
So you're going to work at the nightstand.
Oh, right, okay. That
Oh no! I think I figured out
that
what the
clarifies some
nightstand
things.
is.
You work at the nightstand.
Cool. Sounds like a good place.
And,
Did it say where I'm collecting stuff from?
you are collecting stuff from. 1 second. You are collecting something from the Hall of Heroes.
Hall of Heroes.
Yes.
Thank you. And my name is It's come with an F, right?
What?
Someone tell me my name, because I wrote all of yours down. But
Kaldor.
thank you,
K-A-L-D.
Kaldor. I thought it was Falcor.
No.
Falcor.
That was stuck in my head.
So you all make your way out of the alleyway onto the streets of Windmere. The cold evening breeze washing around you. For those of you that have been in the city before, you know that you are towards the western point of the middle city, near the market.
Okay.
Kind of turns and goes, right, so we're going to go through the Wester Gate. I would suggest that we go through maybe one at a time. We'll split up near there, but it's about half an hour walk from here. Once we get into the high city, I suggest that we reconvene and we make our way to where we need to go.
Can I suggest that I maybe go through with someone else? Because if I get asked any questions that I have to give answers to, might give the game away.
Instantly puts their hands up.
Says this extremely beautiful elven woman.
I'll do it. I'll escort the pretty lady.
Yeah, good idea. Let's go.
Would I be able to take a horse's entrance, perhaps? Just so I'm not really close to a lot of people who might walk through my back end and then realize that I'm not actually half horse.
There is no, horses entrance.
Most of the gates are joint thoroughfares.
Yeah.
Carts, horses, foot traffic.
You're just gonna have to be, careful.
I think looking at you and all the scars and the eye patch on your face, there's not going to be too many people who are going to want to get close enough to touch.
Well, until I start talking, right? Got to work on a stronger voice.
Rough it up a little bit.
I'm here to haul.
Perfect.
You guys travel up one of the main thoroughfares in the middle city. Takes around half an hour to get to the Wester Gate. A few hundred yards before you get there, Tanner just kind of turns and nods to you all and just kind of steps off to the side of the road and just begins to mess with his boot as if to say he'll follow you all through, and just kind of points.
Pim, stay with Kyria.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But if they ask any questions, then that's on you, darling. But I believe in you. Just put on an old person voice. You're gonna be fine.
Can you do that?
I got this.
Give me your best.
Yeah.
Give me your best old person voice.
I can't do it under pressure. Give me a sec. I need to figure something
But
out.
this is part of the act. You have to believe in the character that you are.
Right. Well,
Because I believe in you, Pim.
I love the hands.
I know, right?
I can't get into the overzealous embodiment of Kyria without
I love
hands,
it.
because Han does that whenever she talks, so I have to embody this. So yeah.
I'll figure something out. I'm fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dag, you might want to feminize your voice a little bit.
I'm just not going to talk.
Okay.
I mean, if the voice doesn't give me away, then the walk probably will.
Yes, just remember, heel to toe. That's how you walk, with a little bit of feminine elegance. Remember, I look down, are they in heels?
The images.
Yeah. Okay, good. It's a 4-inch heel, not too bad. It pokes up what needs to. Heel to toe, try and walk with a bit of a sway. You should be fine.
You see Dag's normal sort of sunken shoulder, slightly looked head down kind of posture, straightens up a little bit, and then he awkwardly begins walking with a little bit of the swing of the hips. Is this all right?
Natural.
Oh, God, we're going to get captured, aren't we? It's just think of it this way. You have huge boobs and you are proud of them.
Hopefully that'll be enough of a
Chest
distraction.
up, back out, heels toe.
Let's go.
Man,
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, just don't talk, love. And as I could sort of like put my hand on his back, Jesus, and we go through the gate.
Okay, so
Yeah, we'll head through first.
So you guys go first. So Liana and Edivir, you guys start approaching the gate first, and you see where the western gate is. This is coming up to, for those of you at home and listening on our YouTube podcast that's available now on anywhere that you can listen to YouTube music.
Shameless plugs here at Tales on Tap.
You see that as you kind of like, just so I'm kind of giving everybody a bit of a visual here, the High City is a walled section of Winmere. There is a huge 50 plus feet wall that separates the middle and lower city to the higher city. The wall itself stretches from east to west and is purpose built to separate the more affluent of folk that reside within Winmere with the rest of the rabble that live here as well. The wall itself has palisades at the top. It is heavily guarded. There are 3 separate gates to enter the High City. The Eastern Gate, the Western Gate, and the Central Gate. You guys are at the Western Gate at the moment, where it has this huge kind of iron barred and steel barred kind of... Is it called... What is it that they drop down? Is that the portcullis?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is currently raised. And you see that even where you are kind of walking up, the wall itself is 30 to 40 feet wide, if not wider. And, in thickness. So the wall is quite big and, quite thick. And instead of actually just a gate, there is a tunnel that you have to walk through to get through. But it's heavily guarded. There is checkpoints on each gate.
I'm imagining the entrance to the place in Spirited Away.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like similar to that, yeah. And
I was thinking the ice wall from Game of Thrones. But
yeah, that's a good one as well, yeah.
But it is similar to that, how the on the outside where the real north is, like that sort of gate, but it's heavily guarded. And as you kind of like walk and approach, guards are kind of stopping people and checking for documentation. As you kind of approach, one catches you two walking up and goes, right, let's see your papers.
Yes, here.
Oh, hello. Where might you be going to? As he kind of like looks towards you, Edivir, and goes,
Just kind of clutches a little bit more onto Leanna's arm.
Okay.
I tried to look a bit intimidating, like eyes off my woman, sort of thing.
Opens your parchment and just kind of goes, oh yeah, going to the nightstand, all right. And you? Right, okay. And just kind of hands the paperwork back and goes, very well, on you go.
Thank you.
And you both just kind of like walk through and start walking through the tunnel towards the High City. As Kyria and Pim start approaching next, and a different guard goes, hey, excuse me, paperwork please. You know the rules after hours. We must see all documentation if you're entering the High City, and if no paperwork can be presented, then a fine and possible night in a jail cell. So, sorry, can I see your paperwork, sir? As they raise their voice, as they kind of like lean down towards you, Pim.
Hearing this, I'll every now and then as we're walking through the tunnel, just keep shooting glances back just to make sure everything's going smoothly.
What? Paperwork? Oh, okay. Here you go. And Pim's gonna like shakily hand up paperwork.
Thank you, sir. And you, sir. And Kyria just kind of like holds the paperwork out wide-eyed. Oh, you're here to see the doctor. The doctor.
Yeah, I have the weirdest fucking scratching in my behind. I swear to God, it's like fire ants are building a nest.
That's enough. That's enough. Okay. On you go, sir. Do you need help?
No, it's fine. They're escorting me as well.
Very well.
Swear to God, it smells awful.
You have the best evening, sir. Thank you.
Do you need any help? More than you can give, my friend.
As Virgil, you kind of like... Virgil, how are you going to do this? Do you walk?
No. So, having watched all four of them go through, like, right, I am stallion, horse, I have 4 legs. And he sort of does like a couple of circles just to make sure that the legs behind sort of follow in suit and that it's not like...
You wouldn't see
like
them.
Weird. Oh yeah, of course he wouldn't. All right, fair enough. So, knowing that he has horse legs and whatever he is, I am a runner trying to do a job for money. This is me, right? And I'm going to prestidigitate the sound of hooves as I walk up to the gate.
You walk
to make sure. So no, it's more of a hastened sort of like. He's sort of like. He tries to get the attention of guards more than just waits for someone. He's like, "Sorry, I got galloping to do. Can I make my way in, please?"
Whoop. Where are you going?
All of heroes. Got someone to take from somewhere there to somewhere else.
Yeah, all running's done in the day, sunshine. I don't think so.
I've got my paperwork here. It says I've got to get to the Hall of Heroes, take some up to someone else.
He takes the parchment off and goes, "Yeah. Didn't think the Hall of Heroes was open, but on you go."
I don't ask questions. I'll just do my galloping, and then starts to like run through, trying to make it look as natural as possible.
Skipping like.
Yeah. Actually, maybe a perception check, Virgil.
Make me okay. Hold on.
No, yeah, make me one. I don't want you to make you one. Make me a perception check, please.
Make me a perception check. Just make me one. I want to be seen. Oh, good. 19. 19.
As you start trotting off, he goes, "What a weird guy." You all.
We didn't miss that.
Start walking through the tunnel. Most of us walking. Virgil skippingly hopping along. But you breach through onto the other side of the high city, and it strikes you immediately. For those of you that have never been here before, there is a stark contrast between the middle and lower cities, and especially the UC, and what greets you on the other side of this wall. As there are high, tall buildings that are seemingly freshly painted. The roads are clean. There are street lamps lighting every corner. There are well-kept verges of fauna everywhere and flower patches, and you see that towards the Westergate, as you come through, you travel a little bit further up, but it's quiet, and there's a smell of lavender in the air as you kind of like stand in this, and it just seeps of like just affluence around you, and you are definitely not in a place that you feel you belong, and you are kind of all convene in this small courtyard. The courtyard itself is kind of set into a block of buildings with a few like benches sat into this courtyard. It's a little bit open, but there's a few trees that are kind of growing in places. But you kind of like are stood waiting within this small courtyard.
As we're walking around, because I assume we're heading off somewhere else. So just sort of as we're working around, you notice that particularly when we go past any like particularly gaudy or opulent monuments and buildings and stuff like that, there is just a look of disdain on Dag's or Lady Dag's face.
Lady Dag.
Lady Dag.
I see what you mean now. I never really saw the outside before of this area. We were kind of just ferried. straight to the buildings. This is...
Disgusting.
It's something.
You hear? Is Virgil like, why is there so much running today? And he sort of like jogs wearily past you. Like, is my ass following? Does it look all right?
It looks wonderful. How's mine?
I wish I had mine back, because then we could compare. It's nice here, isn't it?
No.
It smells good. Where's not Dag? Spots. Oh, Tanner, where is he?
I think we should just wait here for him.
Oh, good.
You aren't waiting
Great.
long. A few moments pass as Tanner rounds the corner and goes, Good. That's the first point. Go team. We did it. We got through the first barrier. The illusions held. You weren't caught. Let's look. It's another 20 minutes from here. We're gonna go to their estate, and then we're gonna meet them. All right.
Question. What happens if these colours wear off before we can leave?
Let's not wait around long enough for that to happen. Put it that way,
Okay.
because if that does happen, and we would,
We're fucked.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
Is getting out going to be as easy?
If the disguises hold, sure, yeah, absolutely. You got in, easier to get out than it is in. Put it that way. You don't even need paperwork to get out. You just walk out.
What I don't.
Is it time yet for you to tell us who we're going to meet, or will we find out when we get there?
I'll tell you when we get there. All right.
Lead the
It's
way.
not long. 20 minutes. Follow me. And he starts walking you through the high city.
I sort of, whoever I'm sort of walking with, just sort of say to them, an estate in the upper city. This is no small fish that we're dealing with.
No.
Do I need to keep the whole fire ants act going, or can I drop it
Yes.
now because it's...
You must remain consistent. The mission depends on it.
All right,
Let's
well, I guess I
stay
have
with
to
us.
keep scratching. I
That's
just
fine.
walk, keep scratching my behind.
One side of Dag's face, one side of Dag's mouth just curls up into a smile.
You guys,
A genuinely exasperated sigh from just like, more running, fine. Enjoy it.
you guys start walking through the high city, and Pim, given your passive perception, I think most of you will start picking out some of these more key, notable kind of locations. You see that as you reach onto one of the main thoroughfares, and some of the buildings kind of part as you're passing them. You see off in the distance towards the eastern side of the city, in the high city, you see this huge towering spire that reaches higher than most of the other buildings here, and the top of it looks like open flame from this distance, but it doesn't move in the way that a flame would normally. You also kind of start walking past, and on the main thoroughfare off to the left-hand side of where you are, you see that there's this huge kind of dome-topped building that's made mostly of marble from the outside. Like, a lot of marble has gone into this. As you pass the ethereal observatory, and you see that the marble exterior and this huge dome glass roof on it.
That's all one building, sorry.
That's it. No. So it's split. So there's a huge towering spire off to the eastern side of the high city with this what appears to be fire at the very top, but it doesn't move in the way that a flame typically would, which kind of might spike somebody's interest.
Yes.
And you see the ethereal observatory on the left as you pass it onto another main thoroughfare. Across from there, as you get onto the next main thoroughfare that kind of like starts heading northeasterly. You come across like a big open square that this kind of main thoroughfare leads you to, and sat rather centrally within this square is the Crimson Veil Theatre. That is a rather large building, kind of pointed triangular ceiling on the front. These huge columns that kind of hold up this, think kind of a Greek. An old Greek theatre has these huge pillars that hold up this ceiling. It is enclosed. It is a building. It's not an open theatre. Off to the very north, you see this huge, almost kind of sat on the most northerly point of the city, so kind of easily spotted above some of the other buildings. You can kind of only see the tops of it, but looks to be a few like spires and things that make up this huge stone cathedral. You also see towards the northwesternly side of the high city is another tower. No flame or anything at the top of this, but kind of a huge tower that kind of sits on its own on that side. You guys... Sorry?
Can I ask, because you said that we were heading easterly, so more towards the center of the upper city.
Mm-hmm.
Do we, and Dag is sort of keeping an eye, like peeking down any streets that we pass, anything like that. Do we come across any areas that I recognize from the night of my arrest? And particularly, do we see any like blown up buildings?
You aren't going to that area of the city. So the area that you are talking about is the southeasterly point,
right? Yeah.
Of the high city. So you're not going to that point, I'm afraid.
Cool.
But with you guys walking around, you do see members of the City Watch, but they don't seem to be as you've seen them before. They are very much wearing like very well adorned armor for the high city, very like polished, not, you know what I mean, don't have cracks in it, or like the leather strappings aren't frayed. They're very much like, it looks like brand new armor on most. Yeah. Exactly. Where their tabards are very, very clean and pristine. Looks like they've been freshly pressed. No creases or like in it or anything. And for the more perceptive of you, especially you, Timothy, you do see members of the SBC kind of walking through the city. Nobody is paying you any mind, though. And nobody's paying you much attention. If you're here, then you've obviously passed through security checks. So it's just kind of assumed at that point, well, they're fine to be here. Mm-hmm. However, most of you don't dress in the affluent ways that you spot a lot of the other people here dressing. A lot are wearing big frocks, kind of suits. A lot of people are wearing kind of high-collared suits, or very well-adorned armor. You can see a lot of like paladins that have got their crests on with very polished armaments that they're obviously not working adventurers. They've been off the job for a while and have settled down, but live and operate throughout the high city. You know, the type of knights that will never enter a joust. They're just there to like enter the banquets at the end. That kind of
knights by title only.
Exactly.
Nepo babies.
Exactly that. A short while later, you guys are brought through one of the streets and up a small inclined hill towards this walled-in estate. One of many that you've passed, like many, like, not estates, but properties and stuff that obviously people own, and they're not shop fronts or anything. And you see that it is a gated property with this huge kind of huge mansion type property set behind the gate, a good few hundred yards behind, with a fountain in the middle of this courtyard. Where obviously the cart courtyard, you do see that there are high hedges that kind of give privacy to this place. And Tanner turns and goes.
Sign?
Tanner turns and goes, well, we're here. and you all look towards the gate, and above the gate, and it is a wrought iron gate, but you see that there is a letter on the gate, and it is quite a cursive capital G that is kind of on, like, split, like centralized at the gate where it would split and open. And that's where we're going to take a quick break.
G.
Yes.
Who's G?
We will be back in around 10 minutes or so.
Who it is?
Please don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for joining us so far. We will be back very shortly, and we will continue with our adventure. We'll see you very soon.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Tales on Tap. We're all giggling because everyone's just said Mjolnir in an Australian accent. Terrible.
Mjolnir.
Loki, cut it air.
Welcome back to Tales on Tap. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the break. We rejoin our band of adventurers as they walk up and see a delectable estate with the letter G. The G placed on a gate, but what could it mean? Well, we'll find out soon. As Tanner turns to the group and goes, well, this is it. Look, this estate is home to my good friend, Gideon Malgrave.
Anna, you've become British. Gideon Malgrave, you said. Does that ring a bell? Have I heard anything about this person?
Can I roll if I can?
It's doubtful that you would hear of this individual, to be honest.
Would the Malgrave household be
Malgrave? M-A-L Malgrave. Yes, Malgrave. Gideon Malgrave. And no, it wouldn't have been.
Okay.
The question was, would it have been a house that Leanne has visited during her gladiatorial years? No, it would not have been.
And this person holds a position of some sway.
Yeah. Quite a lot of influence. He has a lot of contacts in a lot of places, and he owes me a favor or two. And this is me cashing in. Look, let's get off the street. Come on. And he just kind of like pushes the gate open and steps through into the estate.
I'm just going to whisper up to Edivir, trying to not look at his bosom. What do you think Hannah did for him if some high estate lord owes him a favor?
How the fuck should I know?
I mean,
Maybe he blew
you're
up a
into
bank.
risky business.
Tanner seems like a man with a long history, so it's not surprising.
Hey, can you shut the gate?
Virgil at the back, making sure his horse body is not being moved through. He's like, sure, fine. We see
How are you
genuine
still
effort.
out of breath?
I would imagine that Virgil's just been cantering this entire time, but to everyone else, it's just like
doing the high.
high skipping, but in normal pace is so hard. Like, you can take the necklaces off. Come on.
Oh, thank God.
Immediately take it off.
As you start walking up the main path, you kind of
Ed goes. Ed, before he does, he just says, "Goodbye, girls." Thanks.
You all start walking up the main path towards the main door. This building is huge, kind of one of these multiple winged houses. It's a mansion, essentially. And Tanner just turns to you all and goes, look, when we get there, we'll have to introduce ourselves, make our way through. We'll probably be escorted through the building, and then Gideon will see us. Look, me and Gideon go back a way back. Please watch your manners. This is a man of stature, influence. Please don't piss him off. If you do, then look, I'm not in control of what happens next. Are we clear?
We are our best
Absolutely.
behaviour.
That's what I wanted to hear. Just polite, well-mannered folk that are here to see if you can offer a service in favor of getting one, like, in return, and see what we can do. All right. Now, I can't make any promises, but we might be able to do something here. And as you walk up, you see the doors to the mansion open, and out come a couple of housecarls, swords, shields. One has a spear and a shield, and kind of step out and down the stairs onto the main path, and behind them comes another individual in a black suit, black shirt, black tie, with a white neckerchief in the pocket of the black suit, and just walks behind them. You see they have slicked back blonde hair, no beard, looks to be in there around 30s. And as Tanner kind of spots the individual, he goes, Thursel, hey, thanks for this. Look, I owe you one. We're here, and I was gonna say, yes, I am aware. I can see you, Tanner. And these are the folks that you wrote about. They don't seem much. Even you. Wait, have I seen you before? And he kind of points towards you, Liana. I never forget Of course, the Battle of Carnage. You were victorious in that bout, I believe.
I'm always victorious.
Well, Tanner, what you said may actually apply. These folk may be of some use after all. Gideon is expecting you. I will ask all of you to disarm before you enter the property. The housecarl here will take your weaponry and any form of tools that could be used as such. Don't worry, you will get them on your exit. Any spell books, spell scrolls, wands, and the like as well. They do count as weaponry, don't they? If you all wouldn't mind. Tanner kind of turns, looks at you all, and just nods, and kind of reaches behind into his coat and just and pulls out two short swords that none of you knew that he had, and he just hands them over and plonks them and goes, "Oh, that's it from me."
Where do you keep them? It says as it pulls out a small wand.
Sorry about the blood. I haven't been able to fix that. That's not mine, I promise.
The guard kind of
or anyone else's that I know, by the way.
Raises an eyebrow and just like takes it off you. Walks up to you, Leanne, and goes, "Well, come on, hand it over."
Yeah, I pull out the hand axe and brass knuckles, and without saying a word, I just hand them over.
Okay. Virgil walks over to you and goes, the other one with the sword goes, just doesn't say anything, just hands open.
He takes out the two spell scrolls, sort of folds them into the book, closes it, places it on top, and that's all.
Very well. Walks over to Kiri and kind of goes, "And you?" And she just kind of goes, "Oh, no weaponry from me, my dear. My words are my weapons, and unfortunately, that's all I've got. No weaponry though. Scout's honor." And he just kind of like looks Kiri up and down and goes, "Right." Walks up to you.
Oh yeah, I have a cooking pot.
I do.
I'll hand out the cooking pot.
And just goes, "Come on."
He takes the dagger off his chest, puts it on, takes the sling off his hip, gives it to him. Takes the hammer out of his pack, gives it to him. He takes the grappling hook, which he could probably think of quite a few ways to kill people with, gives that to him. Takes the oil flasks out and gives it to him. And I will see if he because I'm attempting to keep a dagger on me.
I think,
but, like, if he points it out, I'll.
Where are you keeping it?
Stuffed in my waistband.
In your waistband. I mean, I think, but at this point,
towards the back.
Yeah, at this point, like, you handing over dagger, and then things that you could make a weapon, and he's just kind of like looking at you.
Things
he's
that
like,
I could just kill people.
yeah, and you handing over like a grappling hook and stuff. He's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And you see the individual with blonde hair just turn and go, very well. If you'd all like to follow me.
Absolutely.
And he starts walking up the stairs and through the doors and into the main foyer of this grand property. And you see that there is this open foyer with hallways that stretch out both left and right. Around 40 or so feet, there's 2 big double doors that open. There's 2 staircases that kind of curl round on both sides of this main foyer. And he goes, if you will. And Tanner goes, of course, Thessel, you lead the way. How is Gideon? I've not seen him in some time. Is he keeping well? I know that last time I saw him, he was struggling with his knees. And he says, my master is quite well. He's recovered remarkably. And he leads you past the 2 staircases to the main 2 double doors, opens them into what looks to be this large, open, kind of living room, so to speak. Towards the back wall is this big open fireplace. You see there is a couple of tables and chairs set out on either side, like a reading nook on the left, stacks of bookshelves on either side of the wall, and as you kind of like walk through, you see these floor to ceiling windows on either side, and you see this at the far end of the room, kind of sat in a chair looking towards the fire. You don't catch the individual, but you see in one hand there is a brandy glass of this individual's just kind of like twirling brandy around in the glass, just in this kind of high-backed chair. And Thessel walks a little bit further in and goes, my Lord Malgrave, there are visitors here to see you. I believe you're expecting them? Tanner goes, is that you, Gideon? And the individual just kind of like turns and kind of spins in their chair and looks back. And this is the first time that you catch sight of this individual. You see them first they are human, in the late 40s, and you see that they have like chiseled features, so quite like nice bone structure, I want to say. So quite slim and slender, kind of salt and pepper hair, so very much like a bit like matted and what have you. However, it is neatly combed back, but again, it kind of just gives a bit of a hint to a once youthful vibrance, but is now a little bit tempered in age. You see that as he kind of turns, you see these like piercing blue eyes kind of staring out that give you the instant kind of impression of somebody that is very accustomed to strategic thinking, negotiation, can see through the bullshit in somebody, right? They kind of stand from the chair and turn, and you see that they stand at a respectable height, around, how tall am I? 5, 10? Around 6 foot, roughly. You see that they have a lean and well-maintained physique. You see that they are wearing impeccably dressed. You see he is wearing a high-collared coat with intricate embroidery on it that hints at, again, both wealth more than anything and sophistication. A silver brooch shaped like the city's emblem, and a cloak adorning his shoulders, with this brooch kind of holding the cloak where it should be on his shoulders. You see that he is wearing finely crafted leather gloves, polished leather boots, and you see as he kind of stands, he stands with his chest out, chin up, holds himself in and an air of like authority and respectability. He goes, Tanner, is that you? Well, come in, all of you. That'll be all, Cecil. See to the rest of the house. I would like a bath. And not too hot, if you don't mind. Cecil turns and goes, of course, master. Right away. And just spins on their heels, kind of giving a courteous bow towards Gideon, and turns and leaves the room and kind of shuts the two doors in on themselves as the two doors clang and goes. Gideon goes, well, I never. Tanner, I should kill you after what you did last time. Come here and face me like a man. And Tanner goes, hey, now, look, that was your fault. You know it was your fault. That was not my intention. It was all you. And Tanner just kind of like walks over. And you see Gideon start to remove one of the leather gloves on his hand. He goes, closer, Tanner. Thank you. And as Tanner gets closer, you see Gideon just swing out towards Tanner and wrap him around the jaw with his glove. And he goes, you deserve much more than that. And Tanner just goes, yeah, all right. And they kind of embrace each other in kind of a, you know, a standoffish hug and a standoffish embrace. And he goes, are these the individuals that you told me about? They don't look the part. And Gideon goes, yeah, look, these are the ones I told you about. They're capable, and they need your help. Guys, this is my good friend, Gideon, Lord Gideon Malgrave.
Virgil sort of takes point from, not from everyone else, but sort of, knowing he's slightly better dressed than everyone else, sort of comes forward and goes, Lord Gideon Malgrave, I wish I could have heard the name beforehand, but it is a pleasure to meet you. Virgil Ethem.
The pleasure is all mine. And Kyria steps forward and goes, I love what you've done with the place. This is a beautiful home, beautiful gardens, and I love what you're wearing, by the way. That jacket is beautiful. You're going to have to tell me where you bought that. My name is Kyria. Pleased to meet you. Kyria just kind of does a very awkward, like, curtsy, but just like,
yeah,
doesn't quite pull it off, but just very much curtsies. And he goes, the pleasure is all mine, and thank you very much for noticing my humble abode here, my home away from home. And you are? And he points towards you, Timothy.
Timothy Elegard Quickfoot, my lord. And he gives a small nod.
Well met, Timothy Quickguard. And you, the sultry one in the back, you are?
Dag.
Leisure. And you, my dear, need no introduction at all. How are you? I am so sorry to hear about what happened.
You see that Leanna's taken a sort of a very almost soldier-like stance, so she's very straight backed. She's actually got her hands behind her back, just like that. And as he approaches, she does give like a. It seems like a very rehearsed sort of stature. Very much like a soldier, and she bows a little bit and then stands back and she just says, sir.
So, Tanner informs me that you've all got yourselves in a bit of a predicament. Is that right?
That's putting it mildly. We have all been locked up for crimes that, give or take, your perception of what such a thing is are or are not justified. But we are wanted people, unfortunately, yes.
All of you?
Say that again.
All of you?
All of us.
Well, that is a predicament indeed, and I'm sorry to hear that, for whatever the reason being, but there may be something we can do. Tanner, you may wait in the forum. I shall have a word with your friends. And Tanner goes, sure. I'll be just outside, guys. And he just kind of like turns and walks out the room and shuts the door behind him and goes, well, now that he's gone, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
For the exact reason we have just stated, we need our names stricken from the record.
Pish posh. Tanner doesn't usually bring people here without a reason for it. What do you owe him? Money? And he expects me to pay for it? I will have you know that the last time that he tried to do this, he was very bitterly disappointed.
We undid some... People call them flux heads, I call them swingers. Some people who made rough of his establishment. We helped him in a time of need. So he is simply paying forward a debt he feels he owes us.
So you have come across this vile, disgusting substance before then? Good.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, I was just about to do the same.
Can I get, do I believe his disgust towards it?
Make me an insight check.
14 plus stuff. Hang on. Oh, plus 3. 17.
You do. Yeah. You see that his face kind of grimaces at where you see that as soon as Virgil mentioned Flux, you see that even his face just kind of like snaps to it and almost gets more serious than it was. Yes. Well, it is causing me some problems. See, I have aspirations myself, and maybe there is something that we can do for one another. See, I am a man of, how to put this, great ambition.
Right.
And it is my ambition to sit on the High Council of Windmere because I believe that the halfwits that currently reside within the council chambers only make decisions for their ill-gotten gains. Whereas I live here, I've grown up here, and I've watched over years my city fall into disrepair.
So, you hold a great love for the city, then?
Oh, this city holds a great love for many things, and I hold love for it. Though it has seen better days. There are many in this city that go overseen, unnoticed, and, quite frankly, just ignored. I often disguise myself, you see, as a middling, and venture off into the lower cities and middle cities to just to walk and be around the people. And I am shocked at some of the sights that I've seen. People begging at the side of the road, people without food to feed themselves, and being able to go hand to mouth. It is disgusting. And now we have this putrid drug hit our city and turning people crazy. Well, this I cannot stand. Now, of course, I'm not in a position now to do anything about it because I'm not in a position of power and influence and ability to... Sorry, my emotions get the better of me.
Do I believe that he's actually a man of the people with what he's saying? The fact that he goes around and disguises himself and walks amongst the regular folk.
Make me a perception, an insight check. Thank you.
Can I make one of mine as well, just to gauge my own feelings on it?
Sure.
That's a 22 for me.
It's just a 12 for me.
12. You do get the sense that he's being genuine. You do feel that though his intentions seem to be just, there is obviously an agenda behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel that he's being as truthful as he can be in this moment.
He believes what he's saying.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, it's a very altruistic goal you have. We have just come from one of the Undercity, if we are to be honest about it. I didn't realize it smelled as bad as it did, but what has inspired this from you, if I may ask? I see people who want to do good things all the time and have aspirations to do so, but yours seems a little more staunch than just a wavering dream.
Well, if you've been in this city for long, which I take from that response you have not, you'll have seen it. You'll have seen it over time, as I have, and though I do have many philanthropic. Thank you, philanthropic ventures within the city where I offer what I can to the people. That doesn't incite change. That doesn't change the rules and doesn't help those. And there is only so much that one person can do from a position of individualism. Does that make sense? You are right that people want to do good things all the time, but if they're not in a position to do so, then what really can they do? Then it just is a dream, Virgil. For me, this is a desire, not a dream. I wish to sit at the high table that I can enact real change, impact real lives, but I can't do that. Not at the moment. I need something more. I need to do something more, and you may be able to help.
What will we have to do?
We need to find the source. We need to find the source of wherever this blasted drug is coming from, and we need to put an end to it. We need to rid this city. You, of course, will go as the unsung heroes, working in my name. I, of course, will take the credit, therefore elevating me to a point where I am in consideration for the seat in which I desire. And you get your pardons.
So it's less of proving we didn't do it, but pardoning us for crimes we did do.
Services rendered.
The good often outweighs the bad if the good affects more people, and vice versa. At the moment, the scales are tipped in the opposite way. The bad is very much outweighing the good. There are good people here, but they are being twisted and corrupted by this substance. And I need it gone. Good. And I need the people behind it gone.
Any indication of who that might be?
Well, just think about it. They must have infrastructure behind it, for this has been widely dispersed amongst the city and possibly farther reaches from here. So they need infrastructure. This isn't just a substance that somebody can boil up in any old kitchen. No. This takes alchemical genius behind it.
Real alchemy. That's old.
Alchemy, chemistry, one or the other, brewing. And there are a few people in this city that may be able to lend their hand to it, but who's to know? Of course, the SBC had that suspicion as well and questioned everybody of note that they could get their hands on. But still nobody turns up. It doesn't quite sit, does it? Somebody somewhere is pulling the strings and getting away with it cleanly. And I intend to find out who.
And we got the strings.
Sorry,
the symbol of a serpent around a skull. Does it mean anything to you?
Yes, I've seen it before. Not that I have had any experience or come across this symbol before, but I have seen it before on the bottom of the canisters that they're handing out, selling, or whatever they're doing. See, I've been keeping my eye on this for some time. And what strikes me as odd is that it doesn't just start in the places you would expect. This has been a substance that has been found in all reaches of the city, which tells me one thing. They're spreading this so that when more and more people become addicted, they're not just in the lower city or in the high city, they're everywhere. But somebody is pulling the strings, and for what reason?
You have access to alchemists or herbalists?
I do not. Not personally, but there are a few in the city, but I'm not going to do this for you, Timothy. Your task is to find out where this is being manufactured, who is behind it, destroy whatever infrastructure they have, and bring the people behind it to justice. Are we clear?
How exactly are we going to bring them to justice when we are unsung? We can't, as much as I think we all feel a need to do what you're asking. You said we are going to be unsung. Does that mean continuously, forever? Not that I'm looking for limelight or anything, but working in the shadows poses as much a difficult time as it does to be out in the air.
You will not gain any applaud or recognition for this act. Nobody will know who you are. They will not sing songs about you, nor write stories. You are working for me, if you are to accept. You don't have to. You can be on your way with Tanner into the night, and I wish to then never see you again.
Oh.
But without my help, how long do you truly think you'll last?
Virgil sort of at the front sort of turns to look at Edvir and Liana sort of specifically at this point. And, I mean, he does make a good point.
I mean, I don't speak for the group, but it seems like a cause I can get behind, and if it's going to eventually free my name and allow me to leave this place, and she literally steps forward. I'm in. I don't know what I can do, but if you point us in a direction, then I can find out what I can find out.
Dag just kind of like, after that said, just looks to Virgil, just gives one nod.
Kyria kind of steps forward and goes, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but how do we all do this when we're at risk of being arrested every second we're in the open?
That was going to be my question. It's going to be difficult to investigate things if we're having to duck and dive the law and the SBC.
Well, that is something that you're going to have to figure out yourselves.
And I assume if we are apprehended, you'll not vouch for us. We only work for you if we succeed. Isn't that right?
Very astute. But look at this as an opportunity. An opportunity for us all to lay the foundation for future endeavors together. This could be the first of many tasks and jobs that I could potentially bestow upon you. The first payment is that of your pardon, but I have riches, I have influence, I hold sway with certain circles within this city. Do a few jobs for me, and then the applaud, then the riches, then come the adulation that you were trying to avoid, did you say, Virgil?
Genuinely, I'm not looking for them. I was trying to make the point they just made, but I feel like I got lost in my own vernacular. Yes.
Like I said, you... Go on, Pim.
With all due respect, my lord, if we do this, and I'm pretty sure that we all want to see this drug gone, but if we accept, is there any chance for you to perhaps help us along the way in terms of equipment? See, when we first got arrested for things that we did not do, they took everything from us, and so we've more or less had to start from scratch. And if we are going to go out and defeat this threat, I think I'm safe to say that we could use some material help. Is that anything that you could provide?
Oh, sweet Timothy, of course. Like I said, I have things at my disposal. I have an armory on site that the House Guard use. If you were to all accept, then of course. I wouldn't want you going out there to your deaths, but if your deaths were to come, you will be sadly missed, yet...
You said you had means of moving around the city disguised.
I do, yes.
Would this be something you could help us with?
I'm sorry, no. My magics I can cast are purely for myself.
So
Like I
it's
said...
not like necklaces.
No, unfortunately not. As I said, I can offer you some gear to get you going, but how you do this is up to you. I would expect you to investigate thoroughly, shake the right trees, and hope that the right nests fall out.
Actually, you're not supposed to do that.
It's a...
Nests need to be in the trees. You'll hurt the birds if you do that. Have you done that?
It's
His expression.
It's a turn of phrase, sweetheart.
Oh, sorry.
You said you had ideas of a few people that could do this sort of alchemy. If we could have then names that would give us a direction to start our investigation.
I'm sorry, but you're going to have to do this next part on your own. For if it was up to me, I would be going out and doing it myself. But that is not part of our arrangement.
So, how do we get word back to you when progress is made? Do you just want to know when the job is done and not the details, or do you want a fly-by-fly?
I would very much just prefer you to get on with what we have agreed and return here once the task is complete. How you go about it is up to you. But I must say, anybody comes to my door knocking, saying that I have sent 5 would-be heroes, adventurers, into the city to run amok, there will be a denial and a complete and categorical refusal of any further information. So, in other words, your secret's safe with me, and I expect that in return. If you're captured and tortured, my name utters from your mouth, and there will be repercussions. Are we understood?
There's a sharp kind of like as the chair that Edivir's just kind of slumped himself on is sort of pushed back as he stands up. He sort of takes a few steps towards this Gideon person and says, "Show us the armory."
Are we all in agreement?
You see suddenly this light cross Leanna's face. Do you have an axe?
I have a great many things.
I'm in agreement. And she's literally like...
Look, before you all get too excited, I will give you basic weaponry and armaments, and I will go and fetch you all each a small token of my appreciation, a down payment for tasks and services to be rendered.
Awesome. Do you wish to sign anywhere? Create a document of sorts? Contract?
While you're in the armory, I shall have Thessel write one up. However, once it's written, I shall have it locked away in my vault. Once that is there, it will not resurface until the task is complete, in which I shall burn it in front of you. There shall be no paper trail to this arrangement. There shall be no proof. As I said, once it's done, you will be the unsung heroes, and I will have your pardons at the ready for once the task is completed. They will be ready to go, stamped, approved, and signed, pardoning you for any and all crime committed in the state of Windmere. Any expanding from the city's limits that you carried upon yourself prior to your entrance will still be hanging over your head. But at least in Windmere, you'll be free.
What if it happened just at the entrance?
The city, my dear Pimothy, the city reaches is the surrounding. It means the surrounding areas of the city as well, not just within the confines of the city walls.
You should understand something. As you know, this isn't the first contact we've had with Flux. And I myself have seen the situation arise a few times. And I've come to some conclusions that are as yet theoretical in nature. But I'm of the mind that this cancer runs deep, potentially to the very table at which you wish to sit. I think it's a precursor for something much worse.
Then you and I are of like mind.
So, if this task that you assign us requires us to eliminate someone that you might otherwise consider a friend or colleague, though I don't know which social circles you move in. Once we're set to the task will be done. And if you don't like the result, that doesn't change our agreement. Is that understood?
The task is the task. How it gets done, I will leave up to you.
Very well.
As long as none of the backlash comes towards me and my estate and falls on my door, then we are in agreement.
Until there's congratulations to hand out, of course.
Of course. Thessel, and a moment or two, nobody comes. So Gideon just kind of goes, walks over to the table that was next to the chair, and he picks up a small bell and just and rings it. And a moment or two later, the doors open, and Thessel kind of like rushes in and goes, yes, my lord. Could you please show my good friends here to the armory? Before you go, what do we call you? Or do we wait for later?
It's a title in progress. Once the job is done, I assume we'll have one.
Very well. As a party of adventurers, it's often when the adulation and the cheers and the stories and songs come, it's often that groups of adventurers give themselves a name something striking, symbolic. Work on it. For if you do succeed, the tasks that come beyond that, well, the adulation that follows is, well, it's addictive. Thess will show them to the armory, and once there, make sure they don't steal anything, but see them well-armed, well-equipped, armaments and weaponry to suit their needs, and make sure they don't take more than they need, and then come and meet me in the vault. We have a couple of items that we need to bestow on these individuals. And Thessel goes, the vault, my lord? Yes, you heard me. The vault. So, off you go. And have you run my bath? It's mid-run, my lord. Mid-run. It will be ready very soon. Yes.
Inside check.
The bath will be run very soon. And
He's not run a fucking bath.
And Gideon just goes, oh, Thessel, you are leaving now. Thank you. That'll be all, Thessel. Thessel just kind of nods and kind of goes, go on, Dag will.
Dag just walks straight past Thessel out of the room.
Yeah.
Eager to get the fuck out of there.
Okay.
As the others start to leave, Liana turns to the Lord. Already forgotten his name. And you knew me and my crime before.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
I asked Tana to find something out, but possibly you could help me with this. It's the other fighter, Damien. Has he been
Yes.
seen since my arrest?
I'm unsure. I apologize. I'm not too sure. I will send word out. I will try and find out for you. You see, whenever I attend the gladiatorial arena, it is merely as a spectator. I don't often get into many dealings with Lannistars.
But he didn't fight that night.
Not that I saw.
Thank you, that's something.
You're welcome.
And she does her awkward bow as she follows the rest of them out of the room.
I mean, you see Virgil sort of leaning on a table, having not left because he wasn't done.
There's one more thing.
Just one that does a Columbo.
Sure.
But no, just as he sort of hears Liana just sort of talk about this and say thanks, he sort of reading the room, he will, with Liana, just sort of turns, look to him and go, thank you. We are very much dependent on the altruistic kindness of others, so it is not going to noticed.
This is what you say to Gideon.
Yes.
Gideon turns and goes, you're more than welcome. Will that be all?
Yes, thank you. And he'll just sort of put a hand on Leona's lower back, which is quite hard. No, it's not really, because he's not that short than her, and walks out the room with her.
Very good. You see Tana just kind of leant up against the table in the main foyer as you guys all exit. He goes, well,
Look, you're looking at the newest band of unsung heroes.
very well. Look, I'll be here. Do what you need to do. We'll get out of the high city, and then you'll be on your way. All right?
Thank you, Tana.
Very well. You're all escorted through by Thessel until you come to the armory. It has simple weapons and armor in here. So don't go mad, but I'm going to come to each of you and you can tell me what you would like. You are going to, I will allow you to take either a piece of armor or a weapon.
Damn it.
Not both. Okay. Very good. Let's Han, I know you're at home and you're watching this. Just message me on Discord what you want. You can have armor or a weapon. Just message me on Discord. Okay.
Does that include a new instrument?
I will come to you first, Timothy. What would you like?
Shield.
You can have a shield. You can add a common shield to your items.
Thank you.
Okay, Liana.
Great axe.
Okay, you can have a great axe. Virgil.
I don't think there's anything I can take, to be honest. I'm a wizard.
Grab a scimitar. Grab a scimitar.
What do you? You can take a weapon or a piece of armor.
Sort of looking mildly, sort of fumbling around his looks at the thing. He just sort of looks to either end of it and like.
If there is a scimitar in the room, as your hand passes over it, Edivir will go.
he moves generally towards like. And I will take a scimitar.
Okay. Anyway,
I'll take some studded leather armor, please.
can I have some studded leather armor? And
Thank you.
Han says armor, please.
Very specific. Thanks for that, Han.
Yeah, nice. You're not helping me at all there.
So Kyriatos now has a set of full plate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
With no boots.
Yeah, what is this I've just found? Gleam Weaver? Like, no, like you can studded leather. She says, "Leave me alone." Okay.
We love you.
So you can add those items to your inventory. Thessel walks you back through to the main foyer where you see Gideon just kind of stood talking to Tanner and looking quite serious and quite stern, and Tanner's just kind of like nodding, and they kind of like both spot you all walking down the hallway, and Tanner goes, "Hey, right, you ready to go?" And Gideon goes, well, actually, before you do, each one of you, I'm going to just give you a little token of my appreciation. You'll find them in there, and hands over and points towards the table, and you see there's like a small chest on the table.
I go and open it.
Inside you see a handful of items.
Oh my god, he cut off someone's hand! What kind of mafioso bullshit is this?
Guys, look, items.
You see that there are different items in there. There is amulets. There is an amulet, rings, there's a pair of gloves, there is a cloak, there is... in fact, there's 2 amulets in there. 1 second. Yep.
Sort of looking over all of them, Virgil sort of turned, gently closing them and think, I'm assuming these are arcane in nature.
They are. And yes, part of my personal collection. Please return them all. But they will maybe aid you in your task.
Do you happen to have a list of what they are, or do you just want me to identify them myself?
Where would be the fun if I told you what they were?
Well, exactly. A man of the arcane, I do like that. Liana, would you mind...
Putting them all on? I can do that.
No. Can you just carry it?
Oh.
You're the strong one. You're the strong one.
Well,
looks a bit downfallen.
This will conclude our business until you have completed your task. Until then, I hope not to see you again. If you do not complete it, then do not return. I imagine that if you do not complete the task, you'll be dead anyway and won't be able to.
Oh, it's nice that you have faith in what we do. But yes, when the task is complete, we shall return.
Very well. I bid you all good luck. And until we meet again. Tanner just kind of like pats Gideon on the shoulder and goes, "Thank you. We're done. You owed me, and now we're square. All right? Getting us... yes, until the next time. Take care of yourself, Tanner, and do come up and see me soon. We have much to catch up on. Yeah, all right. Right,
You should visit his tavern. It's actually really nice.
I've been. Sure, let's put a pin in that. Adieu, my dear friends. Cecil, Bath! And Gideon just kind of turns and starts walking down the hallway. The housecarl at the door walk up and hands you back your original items that you gave them. And you walk out onto the front garden of the estate. Right. Well, let's head back to the middle city and then we'll part ways.
We need to go back down, though, don't we? We're coming back to the Undercity.
Well, be that as it may, if you want to come all the way back down there, sure.
I don't think that's where it started, to be fair.
No, but we don't have the ability to just wander around the middle city.
Something in this box might help.
Well, we need to go down first, figure out, and then come back up at the very least. I have a face that people may recognize in the middle city, so...
How much for one night, Tanner?
How much of you, to stay in the room?
Yeah.
Let's just call it a gold piece.
Handing him a gold piece.
Yeah, alright. I had booked it out anyway. Right, come on. Oh,
We need to put those back on.
I would advise it, yeah.
She puts hers back on without the hesitation this time.
We gotta be
Timothy
quick.
puts it on and immediately starts scratching.
Okay.
Virgil very awkwardly holds the scimitar with very little balance, just sort of, hey, Eddie, darling, and sort of just pushes it towards Eddie to give him the scimitar.
Okay. You all
And then
place them on, and Pim, you would notice straight away, given your perception, the form of the centaur of Virgil shimmers a little bit. Only for a moment, but you notice it.
We don't have much time. These things are running out.
Then let's move. Everybody.
right, how long are we in there?
Virgil,
I don't know, but yours is shimmering already, Virgil.
you were supposed to be picking something up from somewhere, so if someone checks your papers, they're actually this box, and she hands you back the box. Like, I mean, you were supposed to be picking something up, so that makes sense for your
Yes.
story.
Yes, it does. Right.
Let's go.
When we hit the gate, I'm going to book it like I'm in a rush. So just,
Meet back at the tavern.
or just a couple of feet away from the gate, so I don't lose you all.
Yeah.
Right. Let's. Fuck, more running. Let's move.
You all start walking with purpose through the high city. Liana, you notice that Edivir's form kind of like judders a little bit, but
Glitches.
then glitches, but then forms again. And Tanner goes, "We gotta move. Don't run. People that run through the high city don't last long on feet. But walk with pace. Move."
Yeah, I'm moving with lots of pace. If I see Timothy falling behind at any point, I will sort of grab him by sort of the scruff of his collar and sort of move him along at my pace. I'm not picking him up, but I'm making sure he keeps up with us.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
You all pass back past the observatory, and the Wester Gate is in sight. Liana, as you look down, you've not reached the Wester Gate yet. Chill.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a video game.
Fast travel.
Yeah. And we're at the tavern.
Fast travel, go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one loading,
Waypoint
one
when
loading
you
screen
need
later.
Yeah. You kind of look down as you're hurrying Timothy, and you see his hair you can see through the illusion. His hair is starting to form through the illusion, and you're like, move, and you get to the gate. Are you all walking with pace through the gate?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Virgil's very much like, got important stuff, come on, let's go. And he's like...
As we're walking, Timothy's just going to say, if you see some fog, don't mind it, okay? Just go through.
Let's not take any rash.
Just saying, if shit happens. Sorry, bad word again. If stuff happens, just move along.
What was that word? Bananas. Only if we say bananas, okay?
Okay.
Just go.
You start racing through the tunnel. All of you at pace.
I think Edivir will kind of sort of be hanging on to Liana's arm and sort of like acting a little bit drunk kind of thing, like, and not as like sort of rushing through to get to another tavern or something like that.
Okay. Who's going first?
The Goliath, the drunk lady, and the itchy-assed.
Virgil's trying to keep a steady pace ahead of them because he's trying to act like he's got important stuff to move. And he's like, come on, guys, I'm just coming through with my stuff. And like holding the thing in place, just straight through, trying to keep the gallops up and just into the city somewhere, into an alleyway somewhere. Just
you race and basically run through, holding this box. Roll me. Roll me a D100, please.
Oh,
no. D100?
Hell yeah.
Never good.
That is never good, no.
I mean, at least one of us is fucking this up.
You said I'm not rolling it, right? My fucking curse.
Roll a D100, you roll a 10 or what?
10 and a 10.
Oh, 10 and 10, right, I'll just roll my 110 then.
Yeah, just designate which one's the ones and which one's the 10s before you roll.
63.
Oh, so close.
63.
Yes. Nearly the best number.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're rushing forward.
Keeping the prestidigitation hoof clips up, just like trying to make it
Your
look like he's got
illusion holds.
Oh,
shit.
Whoa, fuck. Each one of us is going to have to roll.
And run through. Next, Liana and Edivir. Both roll me a D100, please.
Fuck.
Well, you're going through together.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a 73.
I got a 35.
Okay.
It's not
I
right.
hope it's not close. I hope it's closest to 50. Like,
Pim, I'd like you to roll me a D100, please. And Han, if you have dice near you, roll me a D100 and send me the result, please.
Oh, God.
If not, I can roll for a...
Nope, that's not going to happen. Han is
77.
frantically racing around the house now to get the dice.
What did you get?
77.
Yeah, she literally. Okay. I'll just wait for Han's results.
as I race through and sort of head my way into an alleyway, I want to sort of keep close and try and keep an eye on the gate as they come out. Like, how far away from the nearest alleyway to the gate is it?
Okay. Thank you, Han.
What did she
Didn't
roll?
like the before it though.
What did they roll? What did they roll?
So here's what happens.
Oh, God.
Virgil, you race through, holding the box. Nobody seems to stop you. Liana and Edivir, as you're posing to be slightly tipsy walking through, you see two of the guards look at you, Liana. Almost like, Jesus Christ, they're big, like your hench. And then they look down towards you, Edivir, and see you hanging onto the arm of this Goliath.
Yeah.
And immediately, as you look down, Liana, and his whole form is going, glitching, and you see like Edivir's face, the woman's face, Edivir's face, the woman's face, and it's like.
If I see this fog cloud,
You won't see this from behind because you're a good few paces from there, but you don't see that happening with Edivir glitching, but you see the guards immediately like go for weaponry and go,
yeah.
hey! And oof. And you cast Fog Cloud.
Yeah.
No.
No one said bananas. No one said bananas.
The area immediately fills in a 10-foot square, I believe it is, Fog Cloud.
No, it's,
Was it 20 feet?
20 feet radius.
20
so it's
feet
40
radius.
feet across.
The whole there and hey, stop where you are! And you hear a whistle below. Fuck. What do you two want to do?
Low and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I see him?
Not now. The fog clouds. He's.
I can't see him.
Nope.
But you can still feel him. He's still around you.
Can't feel Pim. Pim's nowhere near. Are you talking about Edivir?
Oh, I had him by the scruff of the neck.
So you're walking through the gate with Edivir
Pim.
on the arm and with Edivir by the scruff of the neck.
With Pim by the scruff of the neck. Yeah.
Pim by the. It's a weird thing to. Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. Pim, you will have seen it and still cast it anyway. But you have hold of Pim by the scruff of the neck. Edivir, do you let go or hold on to Liana?
I will. I will let go, rush forwards, and try and go low and quiet.
Okay.
I toss Pim onto the back of my back.
And I'll try and go past the guys, and then just sort of tap one of them on the back of the head, like that, and then back off.
I'm on all fours, just running out of the tunnel low.
Okay.
Running.
So I want them to turn and swing at me so that they can get through without.
Okay.
Strike.
There is a fog cloud, so it's very difficult to see them.
Sure.
Make me a perception check, please, with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Oh, it's not going to be good. I think it's a 7. Is it plus
7
2 or plus 3?
Okay.
Yes.
You dart forward to where you believe the guards were.
Yeah.
And you see this figure, and you kind of like spin around behind the figure and tap someone on the back of their head. They go, hey! And you kind of back.
Yeah. Disengage.
Disengage.
Mobile feed.
Yeah. Kyria sees the fog cloud. Kyria's disguise holds, not that any of you see this. But Kyria just essentially darts through the fog cloud and just off to the side. Not straight forward onto the main street, just off to the side and just kind of like shambles out going in disguise, hoping that the disguise holds, though they can't see it on themselves. Liana, you run.
Yeah, Pim on back, all fours, straight forward. I'm the direction we were already going, hoping that this is a straight tunnel. I'm just going.
You're through the tunnel. You were at the other end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Into the middle city now.
Yeah.
So this is where the fog cloud is, at the gate to the middle city. So you're through the tunnel, and as you enter the middle city, that's where this is all happening. You race off. Virgil, what are you doing while you turn around? You see this fog cloud.
Do I see any guards moving out of the fog? Do I see people who aren't people I know emerging from this cloud at all?
You do.
Sort of keeping to like an alleyway close by, sort of direct line of vision. I just want to see who I see emerge.
I love that Han's still playing D&D, but at home without us. You see, Virgil, at this moment, you see Edivir, as Edivir, run off to the side and down an alley.
Okay.
And you see two guards rush off behind him.
How many guards were stationed at?
About 5.
About 5.
And you see
so
two of them race off. And you see Liana poof, through the smoke with Pym on her back, just racing with all fours towards you.
As the fog cloud is up, I'm going to lean out and just beckon them into the alleyway I'm in. What I want to do is another alleyway within 60 feet or so. I'm going to. Is this what I put? I suppose. Yeah, that'll do. That'll work. Okay. And these two circles sort of appear in his hand, and as they come together, you see what was simple magic before, much more arcane in nature. Now there's books back, and there's sort of sigils and symbols, and this sort of growing geometric pattern. And as he does, in an alleyway as close to 60 feet, 55, whatever, I'm going to silent image one of Tanner again. But I'm going to make it sort of be running in place so that if any more guards do come out, I can move it and just have it sort of disappear into the darkness.
Of Tanner?
Yes, because they don't know who's run out, do they? Because they're all in a fog cloud. So 2 of them chase Tanner out, but the 3 inside the fog cloud.
No, they chased me, not Tanner.
Yeah, they chased what you think is Edivir out.
Well, I look like me now, don't I?
Yeah, but it wasn't you that ran off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're still in the fog cloud.
It wasn't you that ran off, but Virgil saw an image of you run off.
Okay.
As I said, Hannah's still playing D&D at home.
Oh shit! Damn, clutch.
Oh, she beat me to the punch. Okay. Looking at that image, would I recognize it as magic?
You wouldn't know. Silent image, you wouldn't know. It's a illusion. You wouldn't recognize it any better than a guard would from the distance that you're at.
Okay, where did Kyria go then?
So Kyria steps out of the fog cloud and is essentially kind of like walking towards you, but kind of like clutching their chest. Quick pace now, out of the fog on one side of the room. Fucking hell. One side of the street. A good 40 feet back from where this Goliath is on all fours, just down the street, which looks odd, I will say.
It always looked odd. All right, so.
But you cast the image of Tanner running in place.
So whenever I do see a guard or a group of guards, I can just set it in motion and let it dissipate down the alleyway like he's run off.
Edivir, what do? You don't see any of your friends. You are in this fog cloud and you're still in it, but what do you do?
When I hear the whistle ring out, do I hear any other whistles coming from any other areas of the city?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
But it is a loud and it's piercing, like ear piercing, like fuck.
Okay. I'm going to emerge from the fog and start running in a certain direction. Or I'm going to sort of start coming out of the fog until I get a little bit of visibility of what the situation is outside.
Okay,
The guards are still there and stuff like that.
You don't see any other guards out of the fog cloud. They're all still within, but you see a Goliath with Pym holding on like an old dwarf clung to the back of this Goliath on all fours racing down the street. And you see a ginger-haired gnome kind of ambling down the street at a quick pace in the same direction.
Okay. I'll say to them, go. And I will whip out. I'm trying to determine. So you said there was about 5 people there. 2 of them have now run off, though. I didn't see that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I'm concerned, there are still 5 people in the fog looking for me right now. Who will
including civilians.
Who will likely start emerging pretty soon.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna start running off in the opposite direction that the others cut.
Which is where the silent image went. That you don't know. You wouldn't know this.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you would see a weird image of Tanner in place, sort of like in motion, in like not moving anywhere.
No, he's talking about the other Eddie 2.
Okay. So I'm gonna start running off. Well, I don't know. So what do I have? Three options. They've gone left.
No, you have 2. The direction you can go east, which is the direction that Eddie 2 went.
Yeah.
And you have south, which is where everyone else has gone.
Okay.
And as you kind of turn to go east,
Yeah.
In your mind, you hear, "Not that way."
Yeah.
Okay, I will begin to start running at pace south, and I will, if necessary, pass all the others and just keep fucking legging it.
Okay, Han just sent me a private message and went, "You're a dickhead."
Valid.
You all start racing down the main thoroughfare south from the western gate. You hear the city come alive with the sound of whistles as the alarm seems to have been raised. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
It.
That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
So
Yeah.
good.
So fucked again.
Oh, the okay. So Miko just rocked in and just said that they've been on jury duty and that's why they've missed it tonight. That is
Oh,
a valid reason.
Solving your own
Yeah.
crimes.
Well, thanks for popping in and saying hello.
Yeah, appreciate it. And thank you so much for the sub. You have been entered into the gift away, which is
Ooh.
running as we speak. There is one more week-ish to get your hands on some cool D&D stuff. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. If you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button. I can see Ruth has, Beza has, OKSGM, you guys are all going to be in the giveaway, so make sure you tune in next week. I know that obviously people have stuff going on, but tune in next week, or at least catch the rerun on YouTube or YouTube Music, which is now available now. Hit the rerun
now.
of next week, because we are probably going to do the live draw next week. If not, it'll be the session after, but make sure that you come and catch us then. I'm just trying to find a good D&D stream for us to raid.
Ladies.
While he is looking for someone to raid, I'm just going to end with a shameless plug.
Yeah.
If you like the character art that has been used throughout this, head over to the dungeon, and Han's details are in there, who does all the beautiful art here. And if you like the layouts, that's me. I'm also in the dungeon. So yeah, check us out.
Amazing. So we're gonna raid a channel called Ben and Paper, which I really like.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, I like that.
Cute. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, players, for coming back and getting into all this wonderful mischief. Our VOD will be live on Sunday. You can catch the rerun of this session then. And we'll be back next week. And next week is the final session we do before the Christmas break. So make sure you tune in and see if these guys actually make it 5 feet out of the mansion they've just come out of. We love you all very dearly. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Take care. Bye.
Peace.
See ya.
bye.